And we are live for one of the best nights of the year. The 32 creator WalterPicks. And we got that figured out on the live here. Let's show the draft board from last year. That's where we're going to start. Before we dive into it, let me just remind everyone how this league works, because there's going to be a lot of questions. There is every year. What's the settings in a 32 person fantasy football league? In this league, you start one running back, one wide receiver, 3 flex, and there's 1 super flex. You do not need to start a quarterback, but you want to start a quarterback. You do not need a tight end. You can play them in the flex, though, and in this league, tight ends get 2 points per reception. We probably will see Brock Bowers and Trey McBride go in the top 12 picks of the draft. All right, well, let's pull up the draft board from last year. Really quick before we do that, I've been the commish of this league for 4 years. This league is almost impossible. It is one of the most difficult fantasy leagues you could possibly be in. And for the first time ever, I am playing and drafting in the league. We're going to have the Lions creator on the live. He is here in person. We've got over half the league here in person this year for the draft. I'll be interviewing them throughout the night, throughout the draft. But for the first time ever on this live, I'm going to be drafting as well. Before I talk about the draft board for this year, I want to pull up the draft board from last year and do a little bit of prep here for myself and for all of you tuning in an hour before the draft actually starts. The draft starts, by the way, in 58 minutes, 7 p.m. Eastern. Sharp is when the draft is going to begin. Let me just... All right. Last year, Josh Allen went with the first overall pick. This year, I expect Josh Allen to go again with the first overall pick. I think the first 2 picks this year likely going to be Josh Allen, then Lamar Jackson. Then it really opens up from there. We could see Brock Bowers go with the 3rd overall pick because it's 2 points per reception for tight end. We could see Bijan Robinson go with the 3rd overall pick. I actually got the 3rd overall pick in the duck race and I traded back. I've got the 17th overall pick now in the draft. I was going to take Bijan at 3 if I stuck at the 3rd pick, ended up trading back, acquiring some assets. Again, I'll show the draft board for this year coming up here shortly. There's been over 50 trades. I think only a handful of teams, once again this year, have not made a trade. Last year, it went Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Hurts, Tyreek went at 4. Anthony Richardson went at 5. Definitely one of the worst picks of the draft. But we did see 5 quarterbacks go in the first 7 picks. We saw 6 quarterbacks go in the first 9 picks. And then we didn't see another quarterback really go off the board until pick 18, pick 19. We saw a stretch of them in the back of the first. Jaden Daniels at pick 25 was an absolute snag. But we did see some starting QBs. Will Levis, you see Geno Smith there. Bryce Young going in round 4. Deshaun went in round 3. Drake May, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones all went in round 4. Pretty much all the starting QBs are gone by the end of round 4. Bo Nix went in round 5. Last year, though, you do have to start one running back in this league, and the running backs dry up quick, man. Once you get to round 7, round 8, you're looking at players that might score 0 points in fantasy this season. Man, this draft board last year definitely paints just how difficult this 32-person fantasy league is. We're about 55 minutes from the draft kicking off. Let me show you the draft board for this year really quick. We're going to have to click on the names. For some reason, the logos aren't showing up. We're going to have to click on the names, but our Commanders creator, Avery, he's got the first overall pick. He has not traded a single pick. One of the few people that has not traded a single pick. So he's got the 101. I expect him to go with Josh Allen with this pick. AC, our Colts creator, he had pick 2, and he's got he traded almost all of his picks. And so we can click here. I know this trick now. So AC, our Colts creator, he had pick 2. He kept pick 2. He traded almost all of his other picks. He still has a 2nd, a 3rd. He's got 3 5ths, an 8th, a 10th, 11th, 2 9ths. and a 7. So he incinerated his 4th round pick, and he managed to get 3 5s, though. So his starting lineup is going to be done in the 5th round. I don't hate that. I do like the strat of trying to be one of the first teams to finish your starting lineup. And I believe I will be one of the first teams to finish my starting lineup. Let's take a look at me. I only have one of my original picks. I definitely made a decent amount of moves. Not only do I have, everyone starts with 1,000 fab in this league. I'm up to 5,550 fab, by far the most in the league. We'll see if that ends up paying off. But I traded back from the 103, and I landed the 17th overall pick. In this range, I still expect some good players to be on the board, especially at running back. I think McCaffrey, Achane, Genty, range. If QB slide, I'm not going to be afraid to snag a QB. We'll see if any elite tight ends slide, but I think there's going to be a lot of good options for me at pick 17. I do not have a 2nd round pick, which I'm not feeling great about. So I'm not going to pick for a while after my 1st round pick, incinerated my 2nd round pick, but I do have 3 3rd round picks as well as 2 4th round picks. So my starting lineup's done in the 4th round. Before the end of the 4th round, I'm going to have my entire starting lineup finished. I'll be one of the first teams in the draft to finish my starting lineup. This is the 32 creator draft. It's going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern, so about 50 minutes away. For the first time ever, I'm competing in the draft, and of course, I'm going to be live streaming the draft at the same time. And no, I'm not concerned about drafting in live streaming at the same time. I am going to be just fine. Again, I was just showing the picks that I have. I landed the 3rd overall pick in the duck race. I traded back. I only have one of my original picks here with the 30th pick in the 4th round. In the research I did leading up to the draft, by round 7, you're just making complete dart throws. There's still some legit starters in round 4, so I feel pretty good about getting to finish my lineup before the end of round 4. That is when it starts. Yeah, starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, let's look at some of the other trades that have gone on. Yeah, let's look at 2-minute drill here with Shea and the trades that he made. He also only has 2 of his original picks. His first pick and his last pick are the 2 original picks that Shea has. Our lines.WalterPicks creator. So he's got a first. He's got an earlier 2nd, a late 3rd. He still has a 4th, a 5th. I mean, he basically still has a 1 pick in every round. Not much changed here. He moved up in the 2nd, back in the 3rd, essentially, and he moved up in the 4th and back in the 5th. If I'm reading the draft picks here right, or the opposite. He moved back in the 4th, up in the 5th, and back in the 6th, up in the 7th. Not too much changed here for Shea. I think this was a little bit of, being trigger happy with the trades, which we saw a lot of. And no one has done more trades once again than our 49ers creator, Bradley. Definitely leading the league in trades. I made several trades with Bradley to move up. Bradley is definitely had a big move back strat, but he does have the 3rd overall pick. So I gave Bradley the 3rd overall. I moved back to 17, and I acquired a 3rd round pick in the process. Bradley's probably going Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, Bijan Robinson. I don't think he's going to go QB if Allen and Lamar are off the board with the first 2 picks. That would be pretty surprising to me. It's definitely possible, but would be pretty surprising. The draft, by the way, it starts in 15 minutes. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern. 50 minutes away. Let's take a quick peek back at the draft board from last year. This is the draft board from last year because this is the first time I'm actually playing in the league. I've obviously been commish for 4 years, and this year I had to step in and make sure we don't let Caleb go back to back in this league. Caleb, our Packers creator, he's going to come on the live here shortly. He is here in person. We got over half the league in person this year. It's been a fun weekend. It's going to be a fun draft. But let's take a look at this draft board from last year. And there's no better way to humble yourself than looking back at draft boards from last year. I got my N'Keal Harry jersey on tonight to make sure I stay humble and don't overestimate my abilities. I was in on N'Keal Harry. And I got rookie fever big time this year. I'm almost definitely taking multiple rookies tonight in my draft. But let's take a look back at the draft board from last year. Josh Allen goes 101. I think he's going to go 101 again. I have sources that tell me Lamar Jackson's likely going at the 102. Our Commanders creator does have the 101 this year. So there's like still an off chance he goes with Jaden Daniels to stay on brand. I don't think he's going to do that because Avery wants to win. Avery's a former winner of this league as well. I think he's going Josh Allen. Then we're going to see Lamar Jackson go off the board. Then it's probably going to be pretty open from there. I could see Bijan. I don't think Saquon's going at 103, but he's probably going to go in the top 10. We're going to see though, all of the top 5 QBs are probably going to go in the first 9 picks, similar to what we saw last year. So it's going to be Allen, Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow, all probably going to go off the board. I think Mahomes is probably going to go like shortly after Burrow goes as well. There's just not too many elite QBs to go around, and there's one super flex slot in this league. The draft starts in 49 minutes at 7 p.m. Eastern is when the draft begins. Avery at 5th overall was absolutely the reach of the draft when it happened. It looks even worse when you look back now, but in this draft every year, you see people reach a lot higher than you would expect because ADP kind of goes out the window in a draft like this. You can't wait another round for anyone that you want. So everyone just takes their guys because you can't push anyone another round. So yeah, we often will see big reaches in this league. A-Rich was definitely a really big one. Last year, a big swing, a big miss. Of course, I am very, very curious where Anthony Richardson goes in the draft tonight because if he starts, man, he's going to project as a top 10 QB for sure. And he's not going to be drafted as a top 10 QB this season. In a 32-person league, you got to take some risks if you're going to beat 31 other people in a highly competitive fantasy league. And you're going to see me take some risks tonight for sure. I'm going to be swinging for the fences with every single pick. That's what I do in every single draft. And tonight will be no different for me because I'm here to win, man. I'm here to win. And I'd rather risk some last place punishments with a chance at first than never have a chance at first. That's my mentality. The draft starts at 7 p.m. Eastern is when the draft begins. Looking at the late rounds here is definitely a bit scary. I don't think there was a single. Jalen Coker went in round 12, but I'm pretty sure he was dropped before the season. Someone drafted Antonio Brown in round 12. Carson Wentz, he was useless. Jimmy G was a backup QB. He was useless. Mac Hollins, Kayshon Boutte, that wasn't a bad round 12 pick. I am curious to see where the Pats receivers go in the draft tonight. Still a pretty ambiguous backfield or receiver room there in New England. Round 11, pretty much no difference. I mean, I don't see a single fantasy relevant player. Ty Johnson maybe had a little bit of relevance in this league. He caught some passes. Mac Jones played for a little, so he had some value later in the season. But basically all of round 11 was complete toast, all zeros. There was like 1 or 2 non-zeros in round 11. In round 10, similar story. My strat this year when I was making trades before the draft, and you can see I made a lot of trades here. These are my picks that we're showing on the screen now. I got the 17th overall pick in the first round. Still think there's going to be a lot of elite talent available at 17 overall, especially considering at least 5 QBs, if not 6, are going to go in the first 16 picks, plus 2 tight ends are likely going to go in the first 16 picks. So that's 8 players that aren't normally taken in the first round of drafts, which really gives me like the 109 in like a normal draft if I end up going running back or receiver. And I'll be more than happy if a tight end or QB slides to me as well. Then I have 3 third-round picks and 2 fourth-round picks, and that's my starting lineup. My starting lineup's done in the 4th round. So I'll be one of the first teams to finish my team in the 4th round. Definitely feeling pretty good about that. Outside of not having a second-round pick, I don't feel great about that situation. All right. Let's get to some of the earlier rounds here, some of the best picks. And let's click on Caleb here, because Caleb has won this league in back-to-back. He's won this league in back-to-back years. And he's going for a 3-peat in a 32-person fantasy league. Would be absolutely insane. He had the first overall pick last year and he traded out of it. That makes me feel a bit better about me trading out of the 3rd pick, because Caleb definitely gets it. And he traded to the middle of the 1st, just like I did. 15th overall pick, he traded back to. He ended up taking Kelsey. He actually didn't have a good draft. He took Travis Kelsey, who was decent at times during the regular season, obviously fell off in the fantasy playoffs. Not quite what we needed him to be where he was drafted in fantasy last year. Then he gets Devontae Smith at the end of the second. He took Jake Ferguson in the third. Remember, 2 points per reception for tight ends. In this league, he had Geno and Devin Singletary in the fourth. Devin Singletary was a complete bust. He did get Chase Brown in the fourth as well, but he started really slow. And then absolutely, worthless picks outside of Kareem Hunt maybe in these late rounds. Yeah, all worthless picks. So Caleb didn't even draft that well. But Caleb made so many good trades during the season. By the end, he had an absolutely stacked squad. He traded out of a bad situation from the draft. And that's what you got to do when you are in a 32-person fantasy league and you don't draft well. How much time per pick? There's going to be 1 minute per pick in the first 3 rounds, and then we're going to change it to 30 seconds per pick starting in round 4. Round 4, we're going to start at 30 seconds per pick. So a little bit more time in the first 3 rounds. Let people think about the most critical picks. And then 4th round, we're going to start speeding it up so we all can have this draft end before midnight, ideally. Last year, I think the draft went for about 3.5 or 4 hours, and we are going to live stream the entire thing. I got to pace myself because we got a long night ahead, man, a long night ahead for sure. And I'm going to be in the draft this year as well. Let's see if there's any trades going on. I don't think there's going to be any more trades likely that happened. There was over 50 trades already in the draft this year. Let's look at how Avery drafted last year. Let me see who I'm drafting around. Let's take a poke at those. Who's got the 15th pick, the 16th pick? Caleb's got the 15th pick again this year. Caleb had the 15th pick last year. Let's take a look at Caleb's situation in the draft tonight before he comes on the live. So he got the 23rd overall pick in the duck race. After getting 1st overall last year, he moved up to get the 15th overall pick in the 1st. He moved back in the 2nd. He's got a 3rd, a 4th. He's got 2 thirds and a 4th. Caleb's sitting pretty good here. He has a 1st, a 2nd, 2 thirds, and a 4th, which is 5 of his 6 starting roster players. Then he's got a early 6th to finish his starting roster here. And he's got a bunch of mid-round picks too. He doesn't have a pick after round 10. So he's not dealing with the brutal round 11, 12. He's going to find some real players here in round 7, 8, 9. He did pretty well, I would say, with his pre-draft rating. I think Caleb did pretty well. He didn't really lose much early draft capital, and somehow he has no picks after really round 9. His very last pick is round 10. So he's going to have a pretty decent starting lineup and depth. And we know how much Caleb trades. So the depth is going to be pretty valuable for him if he can pick well. The depth is going to be pretty valuable for sure. Could Kittle fall to you at 17? It's definitely possible. It's absolutely possible. I think it's unlikely, but it is possible because if you look at who could go in the first 16 picks, and I've already queued up 17 players. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. But there is Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Jaden Daniels, Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs. That is 7. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon. That's 10. All 10 of those guys are going to be gone. All 10. So then we only got 6 picks left. CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers are almost definitely going to get taken. Trey McBride. Now we only got 3 picks left. I mean, then it's maybe it's Kittle. Maybe it's Mahomes. Maybe it's Neighbors, Genty, McCaffrey. I mean, at that range, I think once we get past those first 10, 12 picks, it could really open up. But yeah, definitely a chance Kittle slides for sure. Imagine a league with 32 teams using the Walter app. Yeah, this is just an insanely competitive league. Insanely competitive league. Because not only does everyone have access to the WalterPicks app, everyone is also just a ball knower in this league. I mean, there's not a single non-ball knower in this league. But there are people that are more experienced in this league than others, which is definitely a real advantage. Because people don't quite realize just how different this league is than a normal fantasy league. Now I'm going to plug this charger in so we don't lose me halfway through the stream tonight, because we got a long ways to go. And we're good. We're locked in now. But in this league, you start one running back, one receiver, 3 flex, and a super flex. So you want a quarterback, but you don't need a quarterback. Tight ends get 2 points per reception as well. And I think a lot of the newcomers often overlook the 2 PPR for tight ends, which is really OP. I mean, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride will probably be top 10 in scoring in this league, if not top 5. So it definitely changes the dynamic a lot. And I think people also, when you first join this league, you don't really realize that basically every single pick from round 7 or 8 on is completely worthless. I mean, almost all of those picks will be zeros. So it is really difficult to get depth in this league. Some teams, based on the pre-draft trades, will definitely have better depth than others. Let me take a quick peek here. Doesn't look like there's been any big news that we've missed so far today. I definitely agree with this, and I'm very curious to see when these guys go off the board, because to me, the Loveland-Warren duo in this draft this year, these are the ultimate swing for the fences picks. You get 2 points per reception for tight ends. They're probably not going to go in the first 2 rounds. But in round 3, if either of these guys hits, and they both could hit, these are 2 elite prospects that definitely could hit in year 1, and they're going to hit pretty big. They could be top 5 tight ends in fantasy football. Both of them have a top 5 tight end ceiling, so definitely could see that for sure. Guys, if you're already tuned into this live, this is going to be an incredibly fun night. This draft goes off the haywire every single year. It's impossible to truly prepare for, and it's impossible to know exactly how it's going to go. But shout out to everyone in this live already. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button if you're watching live on YouTube. If you're watching live on TikTok, hit the follow button. If you are watching live on TikTok, YouTube is a better place to watch this live, because we can share screen to a computer screen. You can just see more, and the YouTube's right in the TikTok bio if you want to see the YouTube live. All right, let's go back to the draft board last year quick. We're going to have our back-to-back winner, Caleb, joining us here in about 5 minutes. But just looking back at the draft board last year and the quarterback landscape, the thing with the quarterbacks, as valuable as it is to have one of these elite guys, because you just lock in such a steady floor, you get a pretty good ceiling every single week as well, and you're going to go up against teams that either don't have a QB or just don't have a very good one. But you kind of can't, like, no team can really take a second quarterback in the first 4 rounds, because you're sacrificing a starting roster slot. You can only start 1 QB. So no one's going to be able to sacrifice a starting roster slot to take a second quarterback, which means there's going to be starting quarterbacks available in round 3 and even in round 4. So I think that is a pretty good reason to potentially wait on quarterback. But I also think this year, just based on the conversations I've had with people in the league, a lot of people might be planning that this year. They might be looking back, thinking through this league. And if enough people start pushing quarterbacks late, there's going to be some big values at quarterback early. So I'm definitely not going to be scared to take a quarterback in the first round of this draft, just to lock it in, not have to worry about it. Basically, the rest of the draft, I feel confident that I'm also able to push quarterback if I need to and find a guy in round 3 or even push it to round 4. I don't think my round 4 picks are till the end of the 4th, though. So I really need to take quarterback in one of my first 4 picks, most likely. One of my first 4 picks. Sam, we are so back. LFG, dude, this is one of the best nights of the year. It's August 2nd. Draft season is on the cusp. Draft season is here. I'm literally seeing messages in the chat. We are 35 minutes away from draft kicking off, and people are still hammering messages in the group chat about trading up and trading back in this league. There's already been more than 50 trades in this league, but man, we are so back. This is going to be it's going to be very fun to be a part of the draft this year and every year. This is one of my favorite live streams to do. It's just such a unique draft with so many ball knowers, so many strong fantasy players, so many people with access to the WalterPicks app projections, and then also just such an insanely difficult league with 32 people in one fantasy league. Your odds to win this league out of the gates are less than 3% if everyone is playing from average odds. And still, somehow, we have a back-to-back champion competing in this league, going for a back-to-back-to-back season. I mean, it really is crazy to wrap your head around Caleb winning this league in back-to-back years. And it's part of the reason I felt compelled to join this year. I mean, we just can't let a three-peat happen in this league. We absolutely cannot let it happen. Caleb's going to be joining us here momentarily to talk through how he's feeling with the trades he made pre-draft, how he's approaching trying to get a three-peat involved, and if he feels like he's being targeted a bit by other members of the league. Super excited to have so many people here in person. Brenton Strange thoughts on where he'll go. Yeah, Brenton Strange is on people's radar for sure in this draft. And you can see, like, take a look at where the tight ends were going last year. The people, especially the people that have played in this league before, which is about a little bit more than half the league, you can see a lot of them, they just start hammering tight ends as you get into the middle and late rounds. Because if you can get a starting tight end, they get 2 points per reception. They're startable in this league in your sixth slot. They're decent depth options too. Brock Bowers went in the middle of the third last year. One of the best picks of the draft from our former Lions or Bills creator, Curtis. That was definitely a really good pick. I mean, he went one pick after Jake Ferguson. Absolutely crazy to look back at that. T. Higgins was a great pick last year as well. Zamir White, one of the worst picks in the draft for sure. He went in the middle of the third. You got to avoid these landmine running backs. This is also part of the reason I feel like going early running back in the first with your first pick is pretty strong. And then you don't need to reach on these volume-based dependent running backs like Zamir White. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to see where Brenton Strange goes. He's certainly on my radar in round 4+, assuming he's still available in that range. Very curious to pick Caleb's brain here up in a second too about when and where he thinks certain players might be still available, and what he thinks about these later rounds and trying to find some value in these later rounds. Because even looking at this draft board from last year, I mean, Tyler Conklin, Greg Dulcich, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, these were 6th and 7th round picks last year. 6th and 7th round picks. All right, we have the back-to-back champion joining us here on the live. You can see it right here, Caleb.
All right.
Great to be with you in person for this wonderful night, man. This is always one of the best nights of the year. I don't know if you heard me, but just talking about just how insane it is for any person to win this league. Never mind back-to-back years, just twice. This is the 5th season, right, of the league. Yep. So you've won half of the championships in this league. You also hold the 6 top scoring weeks of all time in this league across multiple seasons. You've made the playoffs in every single season, which I actually think might be even more impressive.
I agree. That I'm a little more proud of that one, honestly, just because it shows consistency of being competitive.
Yeah,
which is hard to do.
So I want to hear from you, one, why you think you've been so consistent, and two, how you're feeling heading into the draft this year. Do you have still the pre-draft nerves like everyone else? Or are you just feeling?
I actually feel more calm this year than I have any year.
Wow.
Honestly. As far as being consistent all 4 years, time has been a lot of it. Just dedicating myself to it. I'm big on, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to try to be the best at it.
I'm pretty sure you led the league in transactions last year by a decent margin, and that was mostly trades. I mean, you're not really adding very many players.
No. And my biggest thing is not being afraid to buy low on guys. I think that's been the biggest thing for me each year. Like last year, a big one was Christian Kirk was a dud at the beginning, went and bought low on him, and then he popped, and then I sold him high. Like I'm always trying to buy low and then sell him high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, and then take advantage of the needs that other people have. When you have 31 other people, you're going to find someone to trade with, but you have to be willing to let go of your guys. And that's one of the things I think people are really afraid to do, is give up someone that they drafted and that they're high on. And
Was there a single player you drafted last year that was on the team at the end of the season?
Travis Kelce last year, and
Kelce
Tyreek
stayed
Hill
the whole
year
time?
before, like that. So I've had the 115 each of the last 2 years.
Yeah, well,
and
you
I've kept
got
my
the
first-
you got the first overall pick, but you traded back
yes
to the 115. This
Yes.
year you got the 23rd pick. You traded up
to the 115
to the
specifically.
115, and
Yes.
yeah, last year you landed Kelce that slot. I'm right behind you at 117 this year, and just looking back at the draft board last year, like someone asked it in the live earlier as well. Kittle might be there this year.
That one's a reach for me.
Yeah.
Kittle's a reach for me.
You think Kittle's a reach, but Kelce was fine?
Kelce was fine because I still thought he had it in him with the volume. I didn't expect Rashid to take off like he did. Obviously, the injury helped me out a lot when Kelce got to become the primary option again.
Right.
But for me, like that 15 spot, you were talking earlier about, how many quarterbacks are going to go, how many tight ends are
there's going to be at least 5.
Someone's going to fall to 15.
Yeah.
That should be going in the top.
Yeah. We were going through it. I mean, the first 10 players, Allen, Lamar, Chase, Daniels, Bijan, Jefferson, Gibbs, Burrow, Hurts, Saquon. None of those guys are going to be there.
Yeah, probably not.
But there's not that many picks then left. There's only 4 other picks before you. Mahomes might go before you, but he could fall to 15 for sure. I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, and it depends too, because this year we have so many people that are top heavy, like they traded up to have 2 high picks, but then they don't draft again until the 4th round, and then they're going to be stuck with drafting Russell Wilson, their quarterback, which no one wants in this league. Because
so QB could definitely get pushed up.
Yeah. And so like I'm comfortable right now because I don't have a plan going in. Like, if 5 quarterbacks go in the top 10, I'm comfortable. If not, like I'm still going to be really happy about who's there.
100%. And I feel pretty comfortable as well, because I think I can confidently say no one's done more fantasy drafts than me in this draft. Out of even how many insane fantasy football people we have in this league, I don't think anyone else has done 300 best ball drafts yet this season. So I feel pretty good. Like through the first, I think in a 12-person, 20-round draft, that's 240 picks. Like through the first 250 picks, I got players I like, and really like through the first 300 picks. Yeah. And this draft is well more than 300 picks, but through those, like that range, I feel pretty good. And I think in most fantasy leagues, you don't want to go in with a hard set strategy, but this league especially, because you just don't know how it's going to go really after those first 10. And I mean, I wouldn't even be that shocked if one of those 10 fell to you at 15. It's definitely possible. Bowers and McBride also are probably going to go
very
in that first 12,
which is really fine, which just means somebody, like you were saying, somebody else is going to fall to me.
Yeah, it's really that first 12, and then you're looking at just some stud receivers: Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., Nico Collins. At least a few of those guys will be on the board at both of our picks. And then there's still some stud running backs too, with McCaffrey, Achane, Genty, Henry, all going to be there in the middle of the first round too. And I'm very interested to see where the quarterbacks slide to. So we did the math. Your odds, just if everyone had an equal chance in this league, the odds to win is under 3%. And you won it in back-to-back years. So that puts, if you did the math there, I'm pretty sure that's like under a 0.01, 0.05% chance, 0.09% chance maybe to win in back-to-back seasons. Do you feel extra pressure for the three-peat? Do you also feel like people have been a little bit more hesitant to trade with you?
They always say that they are, but at the end, I've still made 10 pre-draft trades. The 4 biggest trades that I made last year were from people that have been in the league for 3+ years. And so it's easy to say that, but when you're staring context in the face with bye weeks, injuries, and all that kind of stuff.
I'm more excited for the trades once we actually have players and the season gets going, because you really can take advantage of situations with bye weeks in this league. Where towards the end of the season, this is exactly what you did last year. Towards the end of the season, there's some teams on the cusp of the playoffs or on the cusp of the toilet bowl. And there's some bad last place punishments in this league that you desperately want to avoid. Weekly last place punishments, but the end of the season one is particularly tough.
But as far as pressure goes, I feel like I've proven myself. This league is so volatile. All it would take is one of my picks to be out for the year or something like that to happen, where there's really not a whole lot you can do. I'm still going to grind and do my best to recover. But I can't expect another championship. I'm going to work for it, but with your 3% chance number, to expect that is just going to cause a lot of mental stress that I don't need right now. So
that's
not a lot of pressure on myself. I feel like I've proven myself over the past 4 years.
That's totally fair. And this is, in all fantasy leagues are like this a little bit, but this one is more extreme of your first round pick gets hurt. It's pretty tough to come back from. Injuries are a thing in fantasy football, and in most leagues you can overcome them by really crushing the league on the waivers and making some trades, drafting well enough in the mid to late rounds. In this draft, like we were just looking at the draft. Let me pull up the draft board again, just looking at the last 3 rounds. I'm pretty sure your last pick is technically round 10, but all your other picks are round 9 and earlier, which feels pretty good when you look back at the last 3 rounds, last 4 rounds last year. I mean, there wasn't as many, like it's not like there was a ton of fantasy relevant guys in round 9. Calvin Austin was usable at times. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had some usable weeks. Kenneth Gainwell was somewhat usable. I mean, there was probably like 25% of the picks, 20% of the picks in this round had like a usable fantasy week. Tillman had a stretch there of relevance. I don't think really Andy Dalton was definitely pretty valuable at one point in this league. He was a backup QB. Alec Pierce, not a terrible pick. Garendo was maybe one of the best picks of the draft during his stretch with McCaffrey out as well. All those guys too in this league like do have a lot of trade value. And the other unique aspect of this league that you've definitely taken big advantage of is when there's 31 other teams, there's always someone to trade with.
Always some. And I know people get sick of me sending trades, but like you take enough shots, you're going to make one of them.
Right. And there's such a volume of teams to trade with that you can never really be blocked out. Someone's asking, what is the last place punishment? Yeah. So the last place punishment, there's really 2 options for the last place punishment. In first place gets to decide the last place punishment for last place. The 2 options are the Waffle House Challenge and personally hand delivering a sandwich to first place. No. So for some people, we got someone in this league in Australia this year.
And he might be.
So this is not this. I actually do kind of think that second one is going to be what's chosen. It depends with the location of first and last place, but and I'm pretty sure in that last place punishment, it also says no flights allowed unless required.
Yeah.
So you might be on a 30-hour bus ride just to deliver a sandwich in last place. So yeah, pretty rough last place punishment. There's also weekly last place punishments though, where you have to recap the week. And I think there's an option to make a video about it or a write up about it. Mm-hmm. And that one's pretty burdensome. Yeah. Like there's 16 matchups every week. So doing that write up is at least a couple hours of work. Yeah. If not more.
They turn out pretty good. I remember Sam's had a good one in like a poem form last year.
Sam's had the best one. Yeah. That was a sick poem.
It's a punishment, but it's also a fun way to review the week and kind of look back.
Yeah. So. Yeah, for sure. The last thing I wanted to pick your brain about, let me pull this up. If we go to the draft board this year, let me pull up the player list here as well. Like is there any player that you expect, any unexpected player you think is going to get taken in the first 15 picks that people would be a little bit surprised about? Last year, Anthony Richardson went 5th overall. Like a player like that.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what happens. Or like if a Brock Bowers goes in the top 3, then McBride's probably going to go earlier. Does Kittle leak in there? If there's a run on tight ends,
sounds like you're out on Kittle in the first 15.
I'm not going to take him there. No. Yeah, I just personally would rather take some of the other guys. Tight ends have been my strategy in the past. Yeah, but I just don't like the value there.
Yeah, it is tough to swallow the pill of taking Kittle immediately after Bowers and McBride. Yeah. Just a clear worse value. Yeah. Especially in PPR. If it was half PPR, I'd feel a lot better about it. Or it's 2 PPR. Yeah. And like Bowers and McBride are the ones getting the massive amounts of receptions. Right. Kittle has always dominated with the touchdowns, which we've never seen from Bowers or McBride, this elite touchdown scoring. But it matters a little less in this league. It's 2 points per reception. Right. For tight ends. So yeah, McBride's definitely appealing, but you think no chance he's there at 15.
If he's there, it's because other people thought the board was going to go. And so that's why I don't try to have a plan. I have a plan.
Would you take him there at 15?
If he's there, I would take him. If CD's there, I take CD. Someone's going to fall down there. And so, but I do think, like an Achane or a Bucky, like the guys that everyone's super high on, they might reach for the guy that they're in on.
Yeah. And I was saying earlier too, like you do, I think, see more reaches than normal in this league, even though this is a league of fantasy experts. I mean, people know what they're doing. Everyone has access to the WalterPicks app, obviously, which is an absolute cheat code in normal drafts. Not really in this draft, but you see people reach more because ADP means a little bit less when the next 32 players are going to be gone before your next pick. You can't really 50. Like you can't push players to the next round really. So you see people reach. Oftentimes, do you think that's a fine approach, or do you consider ADP like a little bit?
No, I mean, if you like a guy, if you're really high on a guy, like I don't like you could justify taking A-Chain in the top 15 and feel good about it.
I
Like
think
same with, but
fair.
like the guys that people are high on, you definitely can justify taking them. Because like you said, you don't know when your next pick is going to be 30 picks from now. So you might as well get the guy that you're high on instead of looking at a team that you're just like, this is not, I do not feel good about the players on my team.
Who do you think is in the worst situation right now? Because there were several, I think, pretty rough trades. I think
my Australian mate down in the Seahawks.
Yeah, where it's annoying that I can't see the logos here.
Sam Coco's.
I think is that this?
Yes.
All right, so he traded up. Yeah, trading up is dangerous. You traded up a little bit, but you ended up fine. You traded up, but you still somehow got rid of all your 12, 11 picks.
So I keep a note in my phone and like where I started and then where I'm at and like plus minus everywhere and like try to play the values so that I'm staying positive, especially in those first top 6 rounds.
Right.
And then just kind of work my way up.
Yeah. Yeah. The more I looked at it, and I was really I like looking at the underdog ADPs because I'm a best ball drafter. This is not best ball. I got to get out of my best ball brain like a little bit, but those are real money leagues. There's thousands of drafts every day. So I just trust that ADP a little bit more than the sleeper ADP, which is still like a little bit mock draft based at this time of the year. Like I don't care about this ADP really at all. But looking at the underdog ADPs, when I was making trades, I would look at what player am I getting at this number on an underdog versus giving up. And I really just wanted as many top 100 picks as I could get. That was sort of my goal. I think I ended up with only 3 in the top 100, but I have 5 in the top 150. So I felt pretty good about that. And there's just a lot of players I like in the top 150.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
our Dolphins creator, it was in a really rough spot at one point. I think he's done a nice job of bouncing back.
Yeah, I agree. Sam did bounce back a little bit. We'll look at him in a second. So our Seahawks creator here, drafting from Australia at who knows what time.
I don't know what time it is over there.
Yeah, it's definitely not a easy time for him. We did not plan around Australia time, but he trades up for the 7th overall pick, and he had the 15th. Like he moved up 8 spots, which we were like, maybe he gets McBride or Bowers or one of these elite QBs there. He probably kind of needs to go quarterback here because his next pick. So he does have a second first.
9 a.m. here.
9 a.m. here, he says. That's actually a pretty great time.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
We're all tired from the day playing basketball, recording content in the sun. He's ready to go. But he does have 2 firsts, so he doesn't need a quarterback necessarily with that first pick. Yeah. Probably, something he'll consider depending on the QB is still there.
Right.
And I am curious to see how far Jalen Hurts drops. I feel like a lot of people are pretty low on Jalen Hurts, lower than they probably should be. Yeah. Lower on the Eagles passing attack maybe than they should be just a bit because the pass volume was so low last year. I don't think it's guaranteed to be that low again if they're in some more competitive leagues. Competitive games. They do have tougher schedule to start the season this year. So he's 2 firsts. He has no second, no third, or fourth.
Nope. Down to 5th.
Yeah, so he incinerated round 2, incinerated round 3, incinerated round 4. So he's 2 good starters, like very good starters.
He's just going to have to hit on the late rounds.
Which is not possible. You can't really hit.
I mean, Zach Ertz went in the 7th round last year.
So, but okay, so his 3rd starter is here.
Yes, 5-7, yeah.
Okay, so at this point of the draft, I've finished my starting line.
Yep.
I have 6 starting players already at this point of the draft. I still have a 1st round pick.
Yep.
As well.
And that's where you talk about the percentages and and me winning the league twice, having turnover in the league and having rookies that haven't done it before. Yeah. You hate to say you take advantage of them, but not having experience in a format like this can really get you in trouble. And so having 4 years under my belt, having an idea of how things go is a huge advantage in something like this.
For sure. And I'm technically a rookie in the league, but obviously, I've been commissioned.
Seen everything.
I've been following closely, and I've had opinions for a long time on how to approach this league. And so his 3rd starting player is going to be round 5. He has then his 5th starting. This is his 5th starting player. He still hasn't finished his starting lineup here in round 6. He doesn't have a 7th, so he's starting this 8th round pick here.
Just gotta hit late. I mean,
and you also gotta absolutely smash those first 2 round picks. Yes. Like there's so much riding on those first 2.
And we've had some people trade up to premium picks. Last year we had Hadley get Saquon and Jamar Chase. Yep. And he fell victim to another 8 seed. Yeah.
So here's another person, Sam, our Dolphins creator. You mentioned he was in a rough spot a little bit earlier. He traded up for even higher picks. He already had the 10th, but he traded up to the 4th. So he's got 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 2 elite assets. We just went through the top 10, but he's going to get Allen Lamar and Daniels. I think will all be gone.
At 4, I think
well,
one
actually
of
at
them will
4,
be there.
yeah, Daniels
one
might be
of
there
them
at
will
4.
be there. At 4.
Allen and Lamar are the first 2 picks.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know if I agree with the 101 being Josh Allen, but
Would you go Lamar?
I would not.
Who would you take?
I would take Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Bowers goes 3.
Yeah.
I'm in on Bowers. I just did my video earlier this week of how I think the first round of normal 12 PPR draft should go. I had Bowers at pick 10. I mean, he just had the best rookie tight end season of all time. He has a quarterback upgrade as well. If he takes any step forward, which usually we see tight ends take like a big step forward from year
unless
one to
their
year
name's
2.
Kyle Pitts.
Unless their name's Kyle Pitts, then it's just a steady decline, and then we talk ourselves back into it. I am very curious to see where Pitts goes.
I am too
tonight as well.
Yep.
Because someone's going to do it with every single player here in this draft. But yeah, I'm definitely very interested to see where Kyle Pitts goes and where Bowers ends up going. But yeah, pick 4 is going to be an elite QB or Bowers, probably. It's going to be Daniels or Bowers.
Probably so.
Probably Daniels, Bowers, McBride. And he's got another.
Or Gibbs. I know he's high on Gibbs.
Yeah,
so
I did.
He
He did kind of convince me he was going Gibbs at 4, but now, I think he's tweaking out there right now.
He is going crazy.
I don't think he even knows who he's taking at 4. So he's got 2 top 10, and then his third starters in round 4.
Yeah.
His fourth starters in round 5, and then he made it up pretty good.
He did.
I mean, he's going to have his starting lineup done in round 5.
Yep. He is at a point where I think his 5th or 6th starter.
But like
rounder.
But he's gonna only have 2 good starters.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
This 5th round pick is like we're looking at maybe he's getting like Ramondre Stevenson or Tajay Spears. That'd be like
maybe
a
not
best
the
case.
running backs there.
Yeah,
especially as thin as it gets.
Yeah. So you're
looking at a receiver that like maybe can contribute.
Yeah, like a De'Ami Brown, Michael Wilson, Demario Douglas type that they should start.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that's going to dictate this draft is there's a lot of fringe quarterbacks like the Caleb Williams, Bo Nix. Like once 1 or 2 of those start going, you're going to feel pressure to take quarterback because they're going to go fast.
Right.
And there's so many drop-offs in our drafts this year.
Yeah.
Like there could be a huge run of quarterbacks at the end of the first and beginning, middle of second.
Yeah, the quarterback landscape is honestly super, super interesting to me as well. Like the beginning part's obvious, and I don't think it's obvious what's going to happen basically after Burrow.
It's not, but you don't want to be the guy that ends up with a quarterback that has any controversy because then you have to spend a premium pick to get his backup, like Joe Flacco or Russell Wilson.
Yeah. And Anthony Richardson's the guy I'm probably most curious about because
you got to take Daniel Jones too.
Right. Yeah, and it's not going to be easy.
No,
I don't think to get Daniel Jones as well. And I know Bradley. Let's just talk about Bradley again really quick. I brought him up a little bit earlier, but he definitely led the league in trades pre-draft last year. He once again is leading.
I think his reputation got the best. Like he felt the need to trade because he set that precedent last year.
Yeah,
that he kind of got a little careless.
Yeah,
and made some moves.
I made multiple trades with him.
Yeah,
that I felt decent about.
I love. He'll grind it out. He'll move picks around. So like I have no doubt by week 1 his team will look completely different than the team that he drafts tonight.
100%. Yeah, he's definitely one of the biggest traders in this league, and I think that his strategy leans into that, though, a little bit similar to what you did, right?
Yeah.
You don't have any of these late round picks that are just going to be all zeros, like 99% zeros in round 11 and 12. I do have definitely some guys on my radar. I got
a couple that I think I can get 3 or 4 out of it.
Yeah, so we'll see. Everyone thinks that. We'll see. Looking at the draft board last year was humbling.
So I'll take them at 9 so that you can't have them at 11 or 12.
Yeah, for sure. But so he has the 3rd overall pick, and then he doesn't pick again until round 3, I believe. Yeah, his next pick is this middle of the round 3 pick. That's his 2nd starter. And then his 3rd starter's here. He doesn't have a round 4 pick. He does. This is his 3rd starter in round 4. And then he gets his 4th and 5th starters here at the beginning of round 5. He has another 5th. No, this is his last starter here in round 6. So getting your last starter in round 6, so that's not,
you're still in good shape.
Not too bad. I think he burned a 2nd rounder, so he didn't have a 2nd round pick, but he sort of makes it up. Then he has another pick for depth in round 6.
Yep.
And he's got all these bits. Like this is the rest of his team.
Yeah.
He's going to have like all actual players,
right?
Like real players, not good players necessarily, but players that could score more than 0 points in a week. And almost every other team in this league will have players on their team that are going to score 0 points every single week of the entire season. Like that is usually at least 2 roster slots on every team. We're just looking back around 11 and 12 from last year. All right. So there's 384 picks in this draft. Is that right? 32.
That's something I can't do that math right now. I'm locked.
Yeah,
in
about
thinking
400
about
picks.
football players right now.
Someone's asking who has the 32nd pick. That would be our Jets creator, Nick. I do want to just give a quick shout out to the teams that did not make a single trade, because every single team was sent dozens and dozens and dozens of trades. And I do respect the people that are like, no, I'm just sticking and picking. I trust my picking ability. I don't need to get out over my skis pre-draft. And some people ended up.
You can trade your way out of.
Yeah, for sure. So our Jets creator, Nick, he has the 32nd overall pick, which I do think is the worst one to get.
It's you got to get really creative.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I got the 3rd overall pick in the duck race, and I was just able to trade back and acquire assets.
Yep.
And I still pick before.
I'm shocked Avery hasn't done that.
Yeah.
But he's also not much of a trader. And same with Nick. Nick's not if Bradley was at the 130, I feel like Bradley could get pretty creative with that spot.
Yeah, I agree. So our Patriots creator, Pat, he did make some trades. So we're not shouting him out. Our Rams creator did not make a single trade. He stuck where he was at. I do think the rookies a little bit smarter. Some of them this year, it was just like, I'm just not going to trade. I'm not going to pretend like I know the right strat with the pick trading, especially if you're in the middle of the first. Like, it's a pretty safe move. Yeah. To just stay.
My intel told me that there was a rookie chat where it basically said, hey, don't be trading with these guys because you're going to get fleeced.
Yeah, well, I also think it was pretty obvious when they got 20 trades instantly when the league first opened.
Oh, gosh.
I was a part of that. I was sending everyone trades as well, because I know how this league works, and I know how it's gone in the past. Our Chiefs creator.
But then you had the Texans creator
as well,
who got a charity 2nd-round pick. And
there's the logos.
The Texans, I don't want to say that there's a favorite before the draft even happens, but like it's really hard for him to mess up his situation.
Yeah, where's his
J-Moo? Yep,
right here. Yeah. So I think he did really well. So he still has a 1st-round pick. He's at the 2nd to last pick in the 1st round, but also an early second.
Yeah, he's got 2 seconds.
This is basically a 1st-round pick.
Yeah,
and then he has another 2nd.
Yeah,
basically a free 2nd.
Yep.
He still has, or he doesn't have a 3rd,
but he has 3/4.
But he has 3/4. So his starting lineup's done before mine.
Yeah,
his starting lineup
3 of them
done
are
here
in the top 50. So like,
oh gosh, yeah, he's sitting really well.
Yeah,
he's definitely sitting pretty well for sure. He has a 5th there too. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely arguably the best spot that we've at least looked at so far in this live stream. All right, the draft starts in 7 minutes. Caleb, I'll let you go. Hopefully you'll be able to jump on a little earlier. Good luck.
Yes.
Going for the 3-peat.
Thank you.
And I didn't get a chance to say it, but I mentioned it earlier in live. I'm not letting you 3-peat, man.
That's what they said last year.
I am motivated as hell to make sure you do not 3-peat.
That is what they said last year. They said they weren't going to let me go back to back, and I wiped the league. I mean, it was not even close.
Yeah, so. Well, actually, we mentioned you have the 6 top scoring weeks of all time. The top scoring week of all time in this league came in the championship. Last year, you put up almost 150 points in this league, which in a normal 12-person league could win a championship.
Yeah,
which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
to wrap your head around. It's not even a full starting roster. I mean, yeah, pretty wild stuff, man. But yeah, good luck in the draft, and hopefully you'll hop on later.
Sounds good.
All right, I can literally hear in the background. We got half the league outside of this room right now. I can hear the mock draft going. I can hear the sleeper noises going as people get in their final mock drafts before this thing kicks off. The draft begins, guys, in 6 minutes. 6 minutes is when the draft kicks off, and we see who goes first overall. I really wish we could get these logos on, but we'll see them once we get past round 1. We'll see them once we get past round 1. All right, the draft's kicking off here very, very, very soon. Titans WP loves Nico. So Titans WalterPicks is actually not in the draft this year. His brother got called up to the minor leagues for his first time pitching during the draft. So we had to make him the first alternate. So Bryce, is not going to be drafting this year. Our Eagles creator, Olivia, is not going to be drafting this year. She's also an alternate as well. So that is why we have design.WalterPicks in the draft. One of our design team members for the app. His name is Dean. And then we also have Trevor, our lead data scientist at WalterPicks. His team name is, I think, data.WalterPicks here. He's going to be drafting as well. And then myself also occupying in place of our Broncos creator, who is also an alternate this year. Who got the Steelers? The Steelers is Seth. No BS Fantasy is the Steelers team this year. All right, the draft's kicking off here. in 5 minutes, man. It's time to lock in. I'm pumped that I'm a part of the draft this year as well. I've already queued up. I got 24 players in my queue ready to go. I'm very curious to see who ends up sliding. Let me make sure we got the right time settings here. Time per pick. Yeah, so we're going to do 60 seconds per pick in the first round. We're going to do 60 seconds per pick in the first round. We're going to do 30 seconds per pick after the third round. All right. Let's get this in place. Who would you love to see follow you that realistically could, but you don't see happening? Yeah, I would love Burrow or Mahomes to slide to me. Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts slid, I would feel absolutely amazing about that. I know a lot of people in this league think kind of negatively about the Eagles passing attack, but I do feel good about that. So yeah, I think Burrow or Hurts would be great. Drake May should be the 101. I am very, very curious to see where Drake May goes in this draft. Who's your deepest sleeper? I'm not sharing my deepest sleeper right now on this live because I got a lot of them. You're gonna see them as the draft unfolds. You're gonna see it. 3 minutes till tip off here until we start the draft. What pick am I? I got the third overall pick in the duck race. I traded back. I got the 17th overall pick in the first round. I incinerated my second round pick, which I do not feel great about. But in return for moving back and incinerating my second round pick, I have 3 third round picks, all in the first half of the third round. And then I also have 2 fourths. So my starting lineup is done with this pick. Not quite done first. That's going to be Jace, our Texans creator, who is in a really good spot. He also has 2 firsts, and his team is going to be done at this pick here at the 424. But yeah, I'm going to have 6 players done here by my fourth round pick, and then I don't pick again until round 7. So I moved up to try to get as many top 150 picks as I possibly could get. And so we'll see who ends up sliding to me. I, like Caleb, I'm not going in here with a defined set strategy. I'm not going in here thinking this is exactly what I'm going to do, exactly who I'm going to get. I know the league settings well. I trust my drafting ability, and I don't really care about ADP when it comes to this draft, because you just can't push players longer to the next pick. So I'm going to take the guys I believe in, the guys I trust, and the guys I know can help me win this league. I'm going to take swings for the fences with every single pick here. I want league winners, man. I want league winners. I'm not scared of taking some risks here in this draft. 6 starters versus 4. Yeah, exactly. What do you think of the rookie QBs or rookies in general? Yeah, so I've had a serious case of rookie fever really since the NFL draft. What picks do the Rams at WalterPicks have? Let me pull this up. Thought this was. All right, the draft is starting in less than a minute here now. We'll see. Yeah, let's see where Rams is at. He's got the 16th pick. Did not trade a single pick. All right, guys, here we go. The draft is kicking off here momentarily. We're ready to go. The trades are in. The order has been selected. I'm excited to see how the first rounds here shake out. Shout out to everyone in this live stream, by the way. And here we go. The 32 creator draft has officially begun. And a trade has been completed. I don't even know what trade just got completed, but trade literally just went through right as it happened. I do like Cam Ward more than most people. Feels like he's being a bit underrated for a first overall pick this year. I think he's just getting just a little bit underrated. Definitely curious to see where he goes, because I think he'll be one of the quarterbacks that slides pretty far this year. And Avery's taking his time here with the first overall pick. He's thinking it through. He's had plenty of time to think about it, though. At this point, if I was him, would not have hesitated at all. You take Josh Allen. Yeah, you just go ahead. You take Josh Allen, just as we'd expect. And here comes Lamar Jackson, most likely, with this pick. There goes Lamar. Let me turn the sound off for you guys. And Bradley now is on the clock at 103. This is exactly how I assume Bradley thought the first round would shake out, but we are underway. And there goes Brock Bowers, exactly like Caleb predicted, man. Caleb is definitely on it here with the 32 creator draft order. And Jahmyr Gibbs does go at 4. He goes 4th overall. And like we talked about before the draft kicked off, people are going to reach for their guys in this draft. Sam, our Dolphins creator, reaches up. He trades up for the 4th overall pick. If we go to Sam here, he also has the 10th overall pick. He's probably going to end up going QB, I bet, with that 10th pick. But now we got our Chiefs creator on the clock here at 105. He's looking at Jamar Chase. He's looking at Jaden Daniels, Bijan Robinson, Trey McBride. Isn't that crazy to think he could go here as well? Definitely curious what we see happen at pick 5. Who is Giants WalterPicks? That is our man Hadley. May your tight end have 8 plus targets a game. Yeah, good luck to everybody. And he goes Joe Burrow with the 5th overall pick over Jaden Daniels. And our Falcons creator he's gonna go Jaden Daniels. See, Daniels or Jamar or Bijan. Daniels, Jamar, or Bijan. When I had the 3rd overall pick, I was planning to go Bijan. I was gonna take Bijan at 3. And here he is sitting there at 6. Bijan, he is our Falcons creator too, Sam. So, yep, here he goes. There goes Bijan Robinson ahead of Jaden Daniels, ahead of Jamar Chase. I think it's a good pick by Samson. And I think I would have taken him 3 and doesn't hesitate there with Jaden Daniels, an absolute snag at 7. And Seth is on the clock now. No BS. He's probably going to take Chase. I think he's going to go Chase. He's not going to take Hurts. He's pretty down on the Eagles passing attack. Talked to him a bunch about that already. I doubt he goes with Jalen Hurts. People taking their time on the clock here. I'm up now in 9 picks. About as I expected, though, with these first guys off the board. A little bit different order than I'd expect, but same players, and not too much has changed for me at this point. Let me scoot us along here so people can see on the TikTok live. Jamar Chase goes at 108. Pretty easy selection there. Saquon goes at 109. Jefferson still sitting there. CeeDee Lamb is still sitting there. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes still sitting there as well. And Sam Coker is the first person in this draft to have his 2nd pick already. He already has his 2nd pick. He already snagged Gibbs. Now he gets Jalen Hurts. A pretty good start. A pretty good start for Sam, if you ask me. Jalen Hurts went pretty late. There goes McBride to Declan. There goes Justin Jefferson. Wow, the picks are coming in hot all of a sudden. And I'm 4 picks out now until my pick. 4 picks left. CeeDee Lamb's probably going to get snagged. I think Mahomes is still on the board. There goes Genty. Wow, Genty goes at 13th overall, ahead of McCaffrey, ahead of Henry, ahead of Achane. I think Achane, McCaffrey, we might see them go here. CeeDee Lamb, Neighbors still on the board as well. I don't hate them as options. CeeDee Lamb led the NFL in target share last year. Ashton Genty, man, definitely. I feel pretty good about having him on my fantasy teams this year. I think it, a little bit early at pick 13. I probably would have gone with CeeDee Lamb over Genty. I probably would have gone Malik Neighbors over Genty. I think some of the running backs. I think I'd go Mahomes over Genty as well in this draft. I'm very curious to see if Mahomes goes for my pick. If he doesn't, I'm definitely going to have to strongly consider that. 10 seconds left on the clock here. And we might see our first auto pick. I think we're going to see an auto pick here. I think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb that gets auto picked. Hate to see this. And there goes Mahomes. I thought it was going to be Mahomes. I assume he queued Mahomes up. CeeDee Lamb goes to, oh my God. Caleb gets CeeDee Lamb at pick 15. Oh gosh, it's so annoying. So annoying that he just got CeeDee Lamb at pick 15. And there goes Puka. Oh God. Every single mock draft I did I was looking at pretty much these players on the clock. For me, this pick is between two players. It's Malik Neighbors or Christian McCaffrey. Malik Neighbors leads the NFL in target share as a rookie, gets QB upgrades this offseason. About as safe as a bet in PPR as you can get. But you need to start one running back in this league, and the running backs dry up so fast. Christian McCaffrey has played 4 healthy seasons since his rookie season. He's been a top 2 running back in PPR points per game all 4 of those seasons. All reports right now are that Christian McCaffrey is fully healthy. I'm in this league to try to win the league. I'm not scared of last place. So we're going McCaffrey, man. Easy pick. Easy pick. Wow, Brian Thomas goes over Malik Neighbors. And I feel pretty good, man. I feel pretty good getting Christian McCaffrey at pick 17 after Ashton Genty as well. We'll see how it looks with my next pick. My next pick is not until the 3rd round. So I now have to watch the rest of this for a while. And I think we have our Commanders creator on coming on shortly. No, our Commanders creator might be joining us on the live somewhat soon. And there goes Achan to our Raiders creator, Brian. Definitely, considered him a little bit at my pick as well, but I do prefer McCaffrey over Achan this season. Way to get the job done. Yeah, I feel pretty good about getting McCaffrey here at pick 17. And Avery's already with his Josh Allen jersey. Avery, you had the first overall pick, man. You had a while to think about it. You took your time on the clock.
Well, I was recording a video on the clock at the exact same time. I had so many devils on my shoulders telling me to take Brock Bowers, and I was definitely considering it, but that's not my style. That's not me.
Yeah. Anything surprising to you about how this first round has gone so far? I mean, the first 2 picks is exactly what I expected. Bowers, Caleb kind of talked me into that, was where that was going to go.
Yeah.
That was Bradley who took Brock Bowers. He doesn't have a pick, I think, for a little while now. So very curious to see how he ends up shaping out. Jahmyr Gibbs is a bit of a reach, but I think I did like how Sam started with Gibbs and Hurts. Yeah. I didn't really expect Hurts to fall to 10. But yeah, how are you feeling with the first overall pick? You didn't trade a single pick.
I did not.
So you feeling decent here with the start? I mean, you could have traded back and gotten some legit assets.
So the thing with the first pick, I 100% could have traded back. Everything that I tried, which to be fair was not a lot, did not really go in my favor. And when you're trading pick numbers that aren't actual players, it's a lot harder than it looks. So I figured if I don't trade, there's absolutely no way to go in last unless there's a ton of unfortunate circumstances that happen.
Right.
And Josh Allen, I've never gone quarterback early. He's pretty much locked in for at least 20 points a game.
Yeah.
It's something I like.
Yeah, and definitely he's a super safe bet. I mean, he's been top 2 in fantasy points per game for, I think, 4 or 5 straight seasons.
Exactly.
I mean, he's as safe as it gets. Obviously, the ceiling is just insanely high every week
as
well. And we're kind of already seeing a little bit here in the early part, though. I do think there's probably going to be a QB run in like the next 20 picks or so.
Oh, 100%.
But we're going to see some teams really have to push it at QB, and you're going to be going up against QB-less teams at some point.
It's possible, and it was either Brock Bowers at 1, and then there's typically about 15 to 17 quarterbacks that go in the first 2 rounds. So you're stuck with like Bryce Young, maybe Trevor Lawrence. Probably not, though. I think people are a little bit sharper than that. So there's a lot of ways it could go, but I'm happy with my pick. Obviously, I got the Josh Allen jersey. That is not mine, by the way, but it is now. So Josh Allen, welcome to the Commanders WalterPicks squadron.
So you have won this league before. Caleb, though, has gone back-to-back. You won it before him.
Yeah, right? I did.
3 years ago.
I did. I had to ship him the trophy, which was unfortunate.
Yeah. And we were saying when Caleb was on earlier, the odds, if everyone had the same chance to win this league, is under 3%. Everyone has less than a 3% chance to win. Caleb's gone back-to-back, which is absolutely insane.
It's crazy.
What do you think it takes to win this league, though? I mean, you and him are the winners of the last 3 seasons.
I will say there's statistically a 3% chance, but a lot of the trades that you make before the draft even starts definitely ups your percentage. You have some teams that have 1 first-round pick and nothing else. I'm not going to name names, but there's some bad trades that have happened.
We did look at some of them already pre-draft. There was a lot of incinerated picks out there for sure.
There was. But what it takes, you just really have to be active, especially in the trades. You have to get lucky with no injuries because, you have 3 top players, if you could call them that, draftable players, and everybody else is a wash.
Yep.
So you've got to get lucky with the guys you hit on. Last year, Sam Kokos, our Dolphins creator, hit on Bo Nix in like the 6th, 7th
round. That was one of the best picks of last year. We were looking at that board earlier.
It was insane. So if you hit on a guy like that and then your first couple rounds don't get injured, you're in a good spot, and then just make some trades.
Right. Yeah.
So,
No, that makes a ton of sense. Bo Nix goes off the board here
there he is.
at pick 29. I mean, I'm pretty surprised there's such a big gap in quarterbacks. We've only seen, I mean, this is way less quarterbacks than
It
last
really
year. We've seen 2, 4, 5, 6. That was the 7th QB off the board. That means 25 teams still do not have a quarterback.
You know what that means?
What does that mean?
It means there's a lot of value at the running back and wide receiver on the turn back around for me.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, you can only push QB so far in this league.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, like, I guess one reason that you might be able to push it a little bit, you don't need to start a quarterback. It's just one super flex slot. It's not a QB slot. You want to start a quarterback, but you don't need to. Like, if you push it far enough, you can always pivot to another position if you need to. Like, some people I think are going to be in a situation in round 4 and 5. Like, do I reach for Daniel Jones and hope that he starts? Like, do I reach for Flacco or some of these ambiguous, QB rooms where we don't know for sure who's starting, or it's unlikely someone's going to start the whole season? Do you waste a 4th or 5th round pick on that? Or do you just go with someone a little bit safer at a different position?
To.
Yeah.
With the upside that's there, I've never been an early QB guy. It's the first time I've taken a quarterback inside the top 2-3 rounds even. Yeah. I kind of had to this year. I like the pick, but you can definitely – it's a really big risk because either they're serviceable or they absolutely stink. Yeah. And it's really hard to trade for quarterbacks because that's the one position everybody needs. You can trade for running backs, tight end options are there. But it's really hard to get a good quarterback if you don't start with one. If
I'm Nick here, I'm getting that Ladd Herbert stack.
It's beautiful. It's right there for him.
It's right there. I do like that Ladd pick for him a lot. I would take Ladd over AJ Brown. Ladd versus Drake London is close. I think in the WalterPicks app, we got Ladd projected a bit ahead. Right now, I am curious to see if Keenan Allen ends up signing there, how that affects things. But we are 1 round in to the 32 creator draft. 1 round down, 11 to go. This draft, I think, usually takes around 4 hours. We've already been live streaming an hour. We're gonna be live streaming throughout. This is one of those lives, man. Like, I don't lose energy throughout the whole thing. This is one of the best nights of the year. So much fun. I'm so happy I get to be a part of the draft this year. As well. But 1 round down, and like all of my fantasy drafts, man, I'm locked in every single round. I'll be locked in round 12 in this draft. I'm gonna take guys in round 12 that I've spent the last weeks researching. Really the last months.
Me too.
Researching, especially with some of the rookies in this year's class that I think have a chance to win. But like this league is not won in round 1.
It's not.
This league is won in the next 3, 4, 5, even 6 rounds of this draft. So we're just getting started here, and we're going to speed it up to 30-second picks starting in round 4.
Perfect. As
well. Still not many QBs.
This is the one year where I could have gone no quarterback.
There goes Hampton.
And it's perfectly fine.
I knew
that's early.
I don't think it's that early. I really
know
don't.
Shay wanted him.
Yeah, I know Shay, our Lions creator, was talking about going Hampton there with that pick earlier today. Let's take a look. I think he started Nico. Yeah, Nico Hampton. I like that start for him.
Yeah.
I like both those guys a lot. I personally, I can already see Aaron Hampton being a first-round pick next year. Like, I think that's the type of player he's going to be. He's a really safe offensive environment.
And this was his perfect start to the draft. We've been talking about the whole weekend.
Yeah, that's definitely a pretty good start. And this is why too, like I started with McCaffrey already.
Yeah.
We're getting near the running back cliff. Like, we actually might have just passed it. James Cook, you could maybe argue Kamara goes before James Cook. Wow.
I don't like James Cook.
A little surprising. Yeah, I don't love him either. Definitely due for a lot of touchdown regression.
I can't stack him with Allen either. That is the recipe for disaster.
Yeah, for sure. But at this point, Kenneth Walker, Chuba Hubbard, you got some of the rookie running backs. Like, it gets pretty slim, like, pretty fast. And there's still so many good receivers. That's part of the reason I wanted to start running back if I could.
But Brock, though.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers went very early. What is your first pick?
My first pick was McCaffrey.
See, that's exactly on brand.
Yep. Yeah, I expected McCaffrey to be there. I wasn't 100% sure, of course. It's really hard to know for sure in this draft. My next pick, though, is until the beginning of the 3rd round, but I have 3 third-round picks.
So you're locked into the
3rd. I'm behind the 8 ball right now, and all these picks in round 2, I'm behind.
Yeah.
But by the time we're midway through the 3rd, I'll be ahead of most people.
Yeah.
With my starting lineup. My starting lineup will be done at the end of round 4 with the trades that I put together, and I don't need running backs anymore. So I feel good about that. I probably will still try to get at least one
hero RB strat is
running back. There goes Baker. He was sitting up at the top of the queue for a while. I mean, the top QB's left now. Who did Nick end up going with? He went Kyron Williams. Yeah, I don't love that pick as much, but there was a steep running back cliff I personally just prefer Brees
Yeah.
over Kyren, who had only 2 carries over 20 yards last season. I can't get the stat out of my head. It's one of those stats that can be misleading, but he led the league in carries.
He's really dependent on
the
the
most
offensive line.
opportunities in the league for 20-plus yard runs, and he had 2 of them.
Yeah, and it's not an insanely pass first to the running back scheme offense either. So he's dependent on the line and how good the offense runs.
Right.
But it was good last year. He got a lot of touchdowns. We'll see if it works out for him.
There goes T. Higgins. I do like that pick of T. Higgins there.
There's really no quarterbacks going right now.
Yeah,
not
a ton. Very curious to see when the quarterback run starts, because it's going to start. It's at some point. People can't push it too far. I do like that Herbert pick from Johnny.
This is intense.
Yeah, this is, and you got what, like another 16 picks or so?
Yeah.
Until you're on the clock. You can definitely hop up and get ready for that. Thanks so much for hopping on.
100%, guys.
Avery, we're going to have plenty of guests on this live stream throughout the draft. This draft, it usually takes around 4 hours. We'll see how many. Move your camera to the bottom left. You mean the bottom right? Yeah, let me do that. There you go. So yeah, that's my bad. That should be a little bit better for you guys. Drake May goes at pick 2 to our Patriots kidder, Pat. I was really hoping that he would slide a little bit further. And we have our lead data scientist, Trevor, joining us now. Trevor, how's it going? This is your second season in the 32 Creator Fantasy League. What pick did you have? Let's pull up how you started so far.
Yep. I had the 119 originally, and I traded back in the first, and I picked up another first. I wanted 2 elite guys to start.
Yeah, so you start with Amon-Ra and Chase Brown. Definitely not a bad start. Your next pick, though, is not until round 4 now. Beginning of round 4, though. Those
back to back.
I do like getting the back-to-back picks, though, because
Yep.
it does open up stacking opportunities,
Definitely.
which I do definitely like.
And we'll be going QB there for sure. I need a QB if they fall. So.
Yeah, well, they're falling
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
falling a lot.
I mean, they definitely have started pretty slow. And like the thing in this league is no one can take 2 in the first 4 rounds. Like no one can take 2 because you just burn a starting roster slot.
Absolutely.
At that point. So there will be a starter sitting there for you.
Yep.
It might be Rodgers.
Yeah,
it might be Russell Wilson.
Geno, Russ. Yeah.
Geno would be
Geno would be awesome.
Geno would definitely be a pretty good snag at the beginning of the 4th as well. Yeah, and I do think we'll start to see a little bit more of the QBs go off the board. I honestly thought we would see more. There goes Kyler. I think that's
Has Caleb gone?
a pretty good. Caleb Williams has not been picked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he probably will
Like
here in the 2nd round. Yeah, there's probably some QBs coming up. There's still Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, Goff, Stroud, Dak, Jordan Love, Justin Fields is still there as well. That's a pretty interesting one. I would be pretty excited if they fell to the middle of the 3rd, where I'm at next. Snipe Chase Brown from me, mate, all the way from Australia.
Yeah, I did reach a little bit for him. He was projected like early 2nd, but I got to get my guy.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt with McCaffrey too. Sleeper is really low.
Yeah,
on Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's at 17 overall in a normal league ADP. That's why I felt pretty good that I'd be able to get him.
Yeah.
There, are you with me on like the ceiling at least for McCaffrey? Are you drafting McCaffrey?
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, he's definitely a top 5 running back, if not top 2 or 3. Like with Saquon and Bijan, I think he's up in that tier if he's healthy, and all signs are he's really healthy right now.
Yeah. So I said it as I was making the pick. But and if you're watching live on TikTok, by the way, come to the YouTube Live. It's a bit better viewing experience. I can share the whole screen as we're drafting. You can see the player list and all the picks as they're happening. But Christian McCaffrey has had 4 healthy seasons since his rookie year. Yeah. He's been top 2 in fantasy football points per game in all 4 of those seasons. Yeah. Like it's just a healthy season. He's a league winner.
Yeah. It's Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the same way. He's 5 seasons in a row with QB2, QB1. That's it. It's the same thing.
As safe as it gets. Yeah. There was no doubt Josh Allen was going.
Yeah, absolutely. I gave Avery the jersey. I was like, you got to have it. Number 1 overall pick.
He was rocking that jersey with pride.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Avery, one of the few teams that did not make a single trade. What did you think of how Caleb started? He gets CeeDee Lamb at pick 15.
He fell far.
Yeah.
He fell real far. Genty and Mahomes going ahead of him was unexpected.
Yeah, yeah, definitely Genty. Jefferson is, I guess, not that unexpected. I think we've been projecting Lamb just slightly ahead of him. But with the injury to Jefferson right now, I feel like it's a little easier to just go with Lamb as well.
Oh no.
No.
The double auto draft.
Oh, God. He definitely queued up a lot of QBs.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
not a good
He
situation.
came off of auto draft too before.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate to see that.
Genty Fields is a great start.
Yeah, that is a really good start for Cam.
Yeah.
I thought Justin Fields might go in round 1 in this draft.
Yeah.
QBs definitely
Yeah,
fell.
Richardson went at 5 last year, so I can totally see that. With
Yeah,
Fields.
right. Yeah, I mean, Fields, we've already seen Fields be a top 5 QB
Yep. Definitely.
in fantasy. I think the Jets could lead the NFL in rushing attempts this season. It's definitely in the cards. And oh man, yeah, Jack is absolutely cooked here.
Trade incoming for sure. I got to think.
Yeah. Yeah, not a great sign for him. Yeah, he's gonna have to trade for sure. That's very annoying for everyone that needs quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're trying to.
As I was
trade right
literally
now.
just saying, no one can take 2. The auto drafter can
Yeah.
take 2.
Yes.
Oh God.
Where's your next pick?
There goes Trevion Henderson.
Late second.
So I knew this was going to be painful for me when I traded back. I had the 3rd overall pick. I thought Henderson was going to end up going with one of these.
Yeah.
So at least that put me out of my misery a little bit. Since, as you know, I have a pretty bad case of rookie fever. But yeah, my next pick is here at the 308. I have 3 picks, though, in the 3rd round.
It's a good spot to be.
Coming up. Yeah, so I'm a little bit behind right now because I don't have a 2nd round pick. But I'll be ahead by the middle of the 3rd round of most people.
Definitely.
Pretty much everyone but Jace, I think, has I will finish my starting lineup before, and then my entire bench, I'm just praying I can find not 0 points. Like that's my mentality with the bench. And I think some of the rookies, especially some of the rookie running backs, we'll see how far some of them fall, but a couple injuries away from like actual league winning potential too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my hope in the late rounds here as well. There goes Dak, a pretty good pick there as well. He's off to a good start. He got Jacobs, Wilson, and Dak.
That's a good squad.
I mean, he basically just had an extra 2nd round pick. He doesn't have a 3rd. He turned his 3rd into a 2nd, but look, he has 3 4s.
Yeah, that's a good trading right there.
Yeah, he's 3 4s, and he still has this is the end of his starting. This is the end of his starting roster here, and then he still has like a pretty good depth pick there before most people finish their starting lineup.
Yep,
he's getting his first bench player.
Yeah,
and he definitely. I think he's using his picks pretty well here with his trades. And Caleb goes with TJ Hawkinson after going with CeeDee Lamb. Very interesting pick there from Caleb. I don't really love that one as much. I know it's
I would have gone running back there for sure.
2 points per reception for tight ends, but yeah, I probably would have gone running back there as well. There goes Goff. Stroud is still there.
The QBs are coming off.
Jordan Love is there. The QB I sort of expected to be there with my next pick was Trevor Lawrence, but we'll see how far he slides. There goes DK Metcalf. We're almost through the first 2 rounds. Moving at a pretty good pace. Good pick there with Tet McMillan. I do like that pick. CJ Stroud goes to Brian. I think he made a bunch of trades too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's already made 3 picks. He's made 3 picks before I've made 2. Achane, Adams, and Stroud. Yeah, it's a pretty good start. A pretty good start for Brian, for sure. The QBs are definitely starting to look.
Yeah, I'm not loving that.
Oh, me neither. Yeah, I mean, I traded back, and I think let's just count how many teams have a quarterback. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 teams. Half the league has a quarterback, and one of those teams has 2, which is really
terrible. Yeah.
Really starts to squeeze.
4 teams might not even get a
starter. Yeah, really starts to squeeze the rest of the league for sure. Guys, if you're watching live on TikTok, come to the YouTube live. If you guys are watching live on YouTube, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Shout out to everyone in this live stream right now. And there goes RJ Harvey.
Finally.
Painfully just out of reach. And yeah, I could have got him.
Yeah,
if I didn't trade,
yeah,
I'd be looking at RJ Harvey on the team right now. And I do have McCaffrey, so I don't really need another running back. But to me, like we're off the cliff now at running back. I mean,
absolutely.
Caleb Johnson, James Conner, Dave Montgomery. You could tell some stories around these guys, but they're not the same league winning potential, I think, of all the running backs basically taken up to this point. So I'm definitely glad I have one.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you strategize.
Yeah.
Good to join.
Yeah, I'm up soon. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for hopping on.
Absolutely.
Good luck the rest of the draft, Trevor. James Conner goes there at the end of the second. We are through 2 rounds. 2 rounds down, 10 to go. Basically, every single team in the league has made more picks than I have at this point in the draft. I have 3 picks though coming up, and I'm gonna have to use them well here. I'm gonna lock in here. My next pick is at the 308. So 7 picks here, and then I'm up, and then I have 3 picks in like a 7-pick range, something along those lines. Got my boy RJ. Yeah, AC, I'm not happy that you just snagged RJ. How's the experience been? Commish. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Ask me in like 10 more picks how I'm feeling though. We'll see how I'm able to piece this together with my 3 third-round picks. There goes Jordan Love. He goes off the board. I won't be surprised if we see another couple QBs go. What is that? All right, let me take this comment down so people can see the players. There goes Trevor Lawrence. I thought he might slide to me. I want to see the teams that are picking here. How many of them have quarterbacks? H-Dog, I think, has a QB already. If I recall, slide this down. He does not. He does not have a QB yet. He's picking in between my picks. And then Coach doesn't have a QB yet either. There goes Kelsey. And then Cam has a QB. Jack, he has 2 QB. He might take a 3rd QB here. He could auto pick a 3rd QB. That would really squeeze the rest of the draft. Definitely something to think about. There goes Travis Hunter. I did not think some of these guys would be on the board here that are on the board right now. Maybe I could push it. Maybe I can't. Samps is on the clock here. Falcons at WalterPicks. I think he still needs a QB as well. Is he going to go QB? Yeah, he might need to go QB here. He's one right. He's neighbors and Bijan. Wow, really good start here for Samps if he can piece it together at quarterback. He goes Cam Ward. JJ McCarthy sitting there. Not a terrible option. We did see Sam Darnold do pretty well. I can probably push it one more, though. I think I know who I got to take here. I didn't really think he was going to be there with this pick. And we're going to snag Pickens. There goes McLaurin. And I'm back on the clock. And I think I got to go QB with this one. And the question for me is, do I go JJ McCarthy or Anthony Richardson? Anthony Richardson, I think, has a higher ceiling, obviously a much lower floor. Than I kind of have to burn a pick on Daniel Jones later if I can, and I might not even be able to. I don't hate Bryce Young either, though. I could maybe push. I think there could be 2 QBs that go, though. There could be 3 QBs potentially that go between now and my next pick. I think I can push it one more. I do really like the receivers still on the board. We're going Caleb Johnson. Snag the second running back. There goes JJ McCarthy. Pushing QB one more pick. Should have gone JMO. I was definitely thinking about JMO for sure. I do like a lot of the receivers still here. There goes Loveland and Warren. And he's on the clock. At least he's not auto-drafting, so there'll still be QBs for me sitting there. And my next pick is not for a little while. I think I do just need to go. I need to go QB. There goes JMO. Not a bad pick. There's a lot of, I think most teams have taken a QB now. Yeah, so I think I kind of have to take a QB. It's between Bryce and Penix. I think I'm going to go Bryce Young over Michael Penix. We did see Bryce Young be pretty good down the stretch last year. I feel decent about the upside here with Bryce in year 3 now. They get Ted McMillan as well in the offseason. Feel pretty good about the start here for me. I got 4 of my starters in place now. I got McCaffrey, Pickens, Caleb Johnson, and Bryce Young. Don't need to be reaching for the running backs now later in the draft. I do like the wide receiver value that's likely going to be there a bit later as well. Sam, you're on the clock. Yes, I know. I knew I was on the clock. Trade for Caleb Williams. Yeah, I definitely could trade. There goes Anthony Richardson. I was considering a Rich for sure, but I don't think the floor is worth it in this league. Daniel Jones could definitely still win that starting job, but yeah, the ceiling is there. Anthony Richardson went 5th overall in this draft last year, so definitely not unreasonable by any means. Yeah, come on. And we're going to have Declan joining us. Declan, welcome to the live.
Thank you.
How's it going? So you had the 11th overall pick here in the draft. You went with Trey McBride at 11. Did you think McBride would be there at 11 overall?
I didn't. There was a lot of talk of how valuable tight ends are in this format. This is my first time in playing in a tight end full extra PPR premium. And I had 11 guys I was eyeing. I thought one of the 5 quarterbacks that went, or hopefully one of the tight ends. And I was happy to take Trey McBride at 11.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And are you feeling decent about the start? So you have Hubbard at running back, McBride, and you got Jordan Love at QB. And I don't know when are your next picks. How long do you have till?
I moved up into 3rd, so my next pick is mid 5th, and then I've got high 6th and I've got high 5th and a mid 5th.
Yeah.
And then mid 6th.
Yeah, so you have a little bit of time here. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can piece it together down the stretch of the draft. Anything else that stood out to you so far in this draft? Like, you're feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. The Chuba Hubbard pick was a bit of eating your vegetables. I'm like, The running backs were flying off the board. I'm like, I need someone I feel comfortable playing. And Chuba's kind of the epitome of just like, all right, that's a guy who's going to get the carries and the workload in an offense that I think is going to be a little better. And then I'm happy I moved up into 3rd because my last tier of quarterbacks with Jordan Love and got Jordan Love, or Lawrence was the other guy I was looking at, but that tier kind of ended before my pick would have been. So I was happy I moved up there. I like a lot of the receiver options kind of in the 5th, 6th round. So I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at for my first year in this thing.
Yeah, I took Bryce Young shortly after Jordan Love. So definitely a tier drop.
Yeah.
I think I got there with Bryce Young. He was good down the stretch, but a pretty small stretch of 2 or 3 games, basically, that we saw him do well after getting benched for Andy Dalton. So pretty risky start, I would say, for me so far. And someone commented, but yeah, some solid foreshadowing. I took both these guys. And these have been hanging here for at least 3 days.
I can attest to that.
Now, so yeah, I did. I think I instinctively knew who was going to end up on my 32 squad ahead of time, and I do like the potential for both these guys for sure. I was definitely thinking about Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland around that range of the draft as well. If these guys hit, they're going to hit pretty big.
Yeah,
they could. I don't want to say they could hit as big as Bowers last season because that was the best.
But if you get 80% of that, that's a steal at the 3rd round.
Yeah, with 2 points per reception for a tight end, especially if you can piece it together at quarterback and running back still in this league. And this is, to me, we're heading into the really interesting part of the draft where, like, we're going to see a lot of busts taken in the next 32 picks, and we're going to see some league winners go in this range as well. We're at the back part of the top 100 here. So this is like pick 96 coming up. So the top 100's gone. The next 100 is going to get pretty bleak as it goes on. Once we get into round 6, basically, it's gonna get pretty tough.
It's interesting to me. I was looking at the range of 90 to 130, 140-ish, and it's a lot of pick your poison of, all right, I know Rashad Bateman's going to be on the field, but what's the ceiling there versus, hey, man, if this guy gets on the field, I love it, but is he going to play at all? This could be a 0 every week if I take that risk.
This league is the ultimate risk-reward
Yeah.
decision-making league. And, yeah, I mean, I risked it with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I feel like, honestly, all 3 of my picks, you could argue, 3 of my 4 picks, I feel like Caleb Johnson was a bit of a safe, slightly lower ceiling pick, just with the Steelers' offense in general. But Pickens, McCaffrey, Bryce, all could definitely blow up in my face. All could definitely end up being pretty good values where they went to. So yeah, I always lean a little bit on the riskier side. That's just kind of how I roll.
Yeah, I thought I was going to, and I usually do. But I honestly feel like Chuba's a pretty safe play, but was the last back I really liked.
Yeah.
McBride, I guess you could say, was a small sample of the 1 year he's played like that, but I don't know. He's young. Love again is just a solid starter, but later in this thing, I'm definitely looking at some receivers I think that could may never see the field, but if they do, I feel good about them.
Yeah, I got a lot of rookies on my watch list as well that you could say that about for sure. Seth is on the clock here. He's got 10 seconds left. He only has made 2 picks so far, Chase and Purdy. He moved up, I think, earlier, and he gets Pollard.
I love that.
Not a bad pick. Yeah, I was eyeing him a little bit at my previous picks. I like him more than most of the running backs
I was actually
that were taken.
Pacheco was a guy I was considering around the time Chuba went when I was taking Pacheco or Pollard or Chuba, and I went with Chuba. But
I think this Devontae Smith pick was a pretty good snag as well. I don't think he's that much different than my George Pickens pick.
I can't believe he's still there.
About 20 picks ago. Yeah, I agree. I think he was probably, definitely the highest ADP left. When you look at the underdog ADP, definitely a pretty good snag there. I think, my next 2 picks are not for a while here in the 4th round. So I got a long ways to wait still. But Declan, thanks so much for hopping on. Good luck the rest of the draft.
Appreciate it. I'll need it.
And Gino goes just ahead of Trevor. Oh, that's tough. Trevor talking about taking Gino, and the QBs on the board at this point for Trevor. He's looking at Matthew Stafford, who's got back issues, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tyler Shuck. That's it. End of list. Those are the starters left. You wanted to risk it with Daniel Jones. You could do that, but it seems like at this point, he's probably losing that battle. And we are going to change the clock here to 30 seconds now that we are in round 4. I'm going to let Trevor make his pick first, then I'm going to make the change. And we are on the 30-second clock now, which is definitely going to speed up the decision-making. And I think plays to my favor, honestly, a little bit, since I'm used to the 20-second clocks over on Underdog. Guys, if you're tuning into this live stream right now for the 32-person fantasy football draft, shout out to you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet, obviously you got to check that out. It's a free app on the App Store. It's going to help you crush all fantasy season. Going to help you dominate with player props as well. The link to that is in the YouTube description, in the TikTok bio. Dalton Kincaid to Trevor. He did end up going Stafford. We'll see if he's able to snag Jimmy G later in the draft. There goes Zay Flowers. Let me take a look here. Yeah, Zay Flowers gets snagged. There goes Ridley. The receivers are starting to go. The running backs dried up so fast. Very tough. What positions do you start? Yeah, so I'll pull up my starting roster here. Or actually, I'm not on here. I'll pull up my team. We should have been doing this the whole time. Yeah, so this is how the starting roster looks. I only have 2 starting roster slots left, and I'm going to fill them both here at the end of the 4th round, and I'll be one of the first teams. I think the second team to finish my starting lineup. I got McCaffrey at the running back slot, Pickens at the wide receiver slot. I got Bryce Young in the super flex, and then we got Caleb Johnson in my first flex slot. I got 2 picks left here in this starting lineup. And we'll see if I'm able to get a good receiver, running back, tight end too. I mean, the tight ends do get 2 points per reception in this league, so they are definitely reasonable picks. And there goes Kyle Pitts. Wow, Kyle Pitts goes before Tucker Kraft, before Jonnu Smith. A bit surprising there, honestly, with just how early he went. There goes Jonnu Smith a few picks later. Definitely would take Tucker Kraft over both those guys. All your picks are boom or bust. Gino got sniped. Yeah. What's going on, Kylo? It is one of the best nights of the year. 32 creator league. Digger doesn't know ball. Yeah, Jonnu Smith was a tough one. You went Kyle Pitts. Yeah, that's where the don't know ball. Jonnu has been a fullback in practice. LOL. Yeah, I mean, I there goes Ricky Pearsall. I think that's a good pick by Seth there. I just don't think Pat Freiermuth is going to be fully phased out. So, and the Steelers are probably going to be a pretty low pass volume team as well. Jake Ferguson goes. I don't know why all these guys are going over Tucker Kraft. There goes Joe Mixon to Bradley. Wow. I don't think I would have risked a 4th round pick on that. We'll see how soon Mixon is back. I don't have a pick anytime soon. Golden, yeah, Matthew Golden. I think Jaden Reed, both still available. Juwan Jennings is still kicking around. He's been sidelined for a little bit. Calf remains absent from practice. Tough to risk a pick. There goes Tucker Kraft. I honestly don't hate this start here for our Rams creator. Puka Nacua, James Cook, Anthony Richardson, Tucker Kraft. I don't love James Cook. Anthony Richardson, obviously boom or bust option, but we'll see if he's able to snag Daniel Jones later in the draft. And we're almost at my picks. Here I got the 429 and the 430. There goes Cooper Kupp. Tyrone Tracy. Glad to be back. Glad to be back for another year as well, Kylo. How is Steelers doing? Yeah, let's take a look at Seth. I think he's having a pretty good draft, honestly. Oh, he got the Purdy Pearsall stack too. Yeah, so we got Jamar Chase at 8, which is obviously, pretty good. He has got Chase. I can pull up his team here. He's got Pollard, Chase, Pearsall, Purdy, two starting roster slots left. And he's got another pick coming up here to get his one of those, but then he doesn't have another pick till round 7, it looks like. Where's all his? Yeah, it doesn't have another pick till round 7. So his last starter is going to be a bit rough. There goes Diggs. God, that's a good pick by Caleb. Man, I hate being in league with Caleb. He's off to a really good start here as well, which I do not like. I do not like one bit. Let's take a look at Caleb's team. I'm coming up on the clock here shortly. Yeah, Caleb's got an absolute monster squad. I don't like that Pacheco pick, though. I don't like the Pacheco pick much from him. Oh, man, I can't go Deebo Samuel, can I? Very curious to see. There goes Pittman. Two picks coming up here. I don't think. I was really, really hoping Diggs would slide to one of these two picks. Didn't quite make it to me. Chris Godwin, what's the latest report on him here? Remains without a timetable. There goes Spears. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I have the next two picks here, so I'm gonna take my time. I think I'm gonna go Josh Downs with this first one. And I'm curious about Jawan Jennings here. Jalen Warren is also like somewhat intriguing. I could just get the whole Steelers backfield and get the handcuff. He's not really a true handcuff, though. I don't hate Ramondre Stevenson here either. I think I'm going to go Jennings. Don't really love the McCaffrey-Jennings duo, though. Oh, God, I don't feel great about that Jennings pick. Yeah, come on. We were just looking at your squad.
Let's go.
Welcome, Seth.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. What
yeah,
do you guys
so
think of the fit?
you have a great fit, a great draft day fit for sure. And this is obviously your first time competing in the 32 Creator League. I'll show TikTok your team here as well. But how are you feeling so far through the first 3 rounds? You never feel great in this league. You know, I will say it's hard to put a good team together, but I did really like your first 4 picks for sure. I like the Purdy Pearsall stack. I did just take a little bit of a risk there with Juwan Jennings, so I'm rooting for Purdy a bit as well. I also have McCaffrey.
Yeah, I like that as well. We're all in on the 49ers this year.
Yeah, and someone made a comment on the live. I got both these players on my team. Some foreshadowing there. For sure. But yeah, I did like the Tony Pollard pick as well. I was pretty surprised he was there that late. And I'm curious to see where Tajay Spears ends up landing too. But I was probably most surprised that Jamar Chase was there.
I know.
Yeah.
And every little bit of draft prep I did, it was always Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe Saquon Barkley, maybe Joe Burrow. And I'm just sitting there watching Jamar Chase fall pick after pick after pick. And I really couldn't believe it. So from the 108, I'm really happy with my team. I mean, every guy I have, Tony Pollard, I needed a running back. In this league, you start a running back and a wide receiver, and then the rest is flex. So round 2, I really wanted Devonta Adams. I really wanted Travion Henderson. Those are guys I've been hyping up as well, but neither were on the board. And when you look at the people available, Brock Purdy, if he gets me 18 points per game, that's a little bit worse than last year. That's better than everybody else was on the board. So love the stack as well. With Ricky Pearsall, he's a guy I've been hyping up. And then, Cam Scatterboot, he's also a guy I'm targeting in these in my 12-man leagues. These every player I got, Tony Pollard again, not the most exciting running back, but they are players I'm targeting in my 12-man leagues.
I don't mind Tony Pollard as well, and I didn't even realize Spears went 1 pick before me there in the 4th round, but I like both those guys. I think Cam Ward's impact on that offense is going a bit underrated. It's maybe the biggest quarterback upgrade of the offseason. When you really
think so.
When you really think about it, and if you want to argue Pickens with Dak, that's a single player upgrade. But
single player.
But the whole team is definitely going to improve in fantasy production with Cam Ward. Even as a rookie, I feel like he's just being a little underrated as a first overall pick. I know he's not the most elite first overall pick over the last 10 years, but he still was the first overall pick. He's definitely still a big step forward to what they were dealing with last year. And to Tajay Spears as well. So yeah, I don't hate that definitely at all. And yeah, Seth definitely looking sharp. Anything else? Tell people to get off the Wi-Fi.
Welcome back, guys.
We got to share screen. We are
Yeah,
back.
We the Wi-Fi, the draft. We had an auto draft. We're gonna undo that and get the right teams, right players on the board here. I appreciate you guys sticking around as well. We can see 65 people stuck around. You can go tell your friends, come back. The draft is back on. And right before it cut off, we were talking about some of the most surprising picks. And yeah, Wi-Fi went out, Michael. One of the main things that was the most surprising was how late quarterbacks went, because as the 32, I thought the quarterbacks were going to go early. So in my second round, I was always taking different players, and it completely changed my draft strategy, which is something that, you have to do in every fantasy football draft, be willing to adapt. But Sam, I want to take a look at your team, because this is your first year playing as well. So even though you're the commissioner, you're a bit of a rookie yourself when it comes to the 32, and you made some great trades getting your lineup finished. A pretty poor flex. I traded up out of my 5th and 6th because these players, as we start to get through this round, you can see we're starting to get to players that may or may not be good. Players like Trey Harris, we'll see, but with Sam's team, you start off with Christian McCaffrey. I know you're huge on him. You got George Pickens. I was out with the group and I said, you're definitely taking George Pickens here. I did miss on your next pick because I thought you might go with Jameson Williams.
Yeah,
just go
I
for
definitely
the
was,
double upside.
definitely was considering that. Yeah, I probably should have, but yeah, it was more of a safe pick.
Yeah, Bryce Young, great pick. And you got the jersey behind you, but locking in the quarterback at a roster spot. Bryce Young, if he gets 15 points per game, he was far better than the other players on the board.
Yeah,
because it's really safe. How are you feeling, especially now that you have your starting lineup filled out?
Yeah, I am most nervous about this last pick of Juwan Jennings out with calf injury.
Josh Downs was surprising as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about the Downs pick. I mean, I was honestly a little surprised Pittman went before him.
Yeah.
Almost every draft I've been doing, Downs usually goes just a little bit before Pittman. It's a little bit. The only scary part with Downs is Tyler Warren being there now, on top of it being a run first team. We'll see if it's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, but Josh Downs is, I think, one of the more underrated slot receivers in the NFL. We've seen him produce a higher target share than Pittman already. So yeah, it feels like a very safe PPR pick to me. I was really close between Juwan Jennings and Darnell Mooney. Both guys.
I like Mooney as well.
Both guys dealing with injuries.
Good picks, yeah.
Right now, a little bit. Both guys, I'd say, like a little bit questionable for week 1. Probably will both be back.
Yeah.
Week 1, Jennings is also trying to argue for a new contract. That sort of seems to have fallen to the background with his re-aggravated calf injury.
That's no good.
Yeah, which is.
But he's in your starting lineup.
Yeah.
In a 32-man league.
Yeah, and my next pick is not till round 7. So this is it. This is the starting lineup that I'm rocking with. But also at the same time, I just took Juwan Jennings. Now we're seeing Wandale Robinson and Chico Okonkwo.
Yeah, it starts to really fall down.
It's starting to really fall down. Really fall off. Still no one has taken Judkins. I am very curious to see.
He needs to get off the board.
Yeah, where he ends up.
I think he's almost a must draft at this point. I know not everyone has filled out their team like Sam, but it really is almost a must draft with Judkins. I think, if he misses 6 games, your team's already in good shape. That's fine for your team to come back. I mean, it's fantasy football. So
yeah, well, and here's
right.
In the reality ultimately is no one's going to feel good about their last starter.
No, yeah, of course not.
I actually do want to take a peek at Jace's team.
Okay.
Because he did have, I think,
Jace is the Texans creator.
Yeah, our Texans creator, Jace. Yeah, so I'll pull up the roster here as well.
Yeah, the Dak Prescott pick, I think, was really strong as well. Dak is someone that I think is going to have a huge season. I mean, you drafted Pickens.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're a fan of that pick as well.
Yeah, I definitely liked where he got Dak. I mean, the first 3 picks, he got Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, and Dak.
Yeah, very well done.
He gets Zay Flowers.
That was a deal. That pick, he fell quite far.
Yeah, the Jordan Addison pick, maybe a bit of a luxury pick with all the picks he's compiled. He does have a pick still in the 5th round.
Most likely to miss like 3 games, right? Is that why you're saying that?
Yeah, right. And in this league, that could be six losses.
Yeah. I honestly don't think he has too much to worry about. I'd say already Jace is probably a front runner.
Yeah, he does. He does have a pick coming up here in just a few.
Wow,
picks.
Yeah, he did a great job with the trades.
Yeah,
and he's a rookie too. I think some of the rookies have done. Caleb, of course, you guys know he was on here earlier, 3-time champ. But some of the rookies have crushed it this year, I think.
Yeah, definitely Jace was the best setup, and I think he's executed on it pretty well. I don't love having Addison and Jordan Mason, but I don't dislike Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a sharper pick as well. I think a lot of people are a little bit lighter on him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's not as good in PPR, but the touchdown ceiling is going to be there, I think, on the Vikings.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got a great upside with the Vikings, and he does have a very bursty team with the Garrett Wilson, the Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison. All those guys really do have the ability to pop off on any given week. So I think that's a pretty exciting option for Jace. And we're heading right into we're coming up at the end of round 5 right now, and you can see the players we're starting to take off the board. Kyle Williams went off the board. Let's see. We got Rashad Bateman.
We just had someone ask about Kyle Williams. Here comes Josh Palmer.
Yeah.
These are pretty bad picks, honestly.
I like some of
the other receivers.
Adam Thielen pick, honestly.
Yeah.
I think Adam Thielen can add the Tyler Shuck pick from Brian. I think a good pick. Last starting quarterback. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Tyler Shuck, not bad. Is Russ still available? Rodgers? No.
Yeah, Rodgers should be long gone by this point.
Yeah, he's gone. No, it's Jackson Dart and Daniel Jones now. I mean, did Bradley get a QB?
Oh, I don't know. Let's check here.
I'm not sure if he got one. He's probably going to end up having to take.
And Bradley was one of the creators who really traded back a lot in this draft. I think maybe a little bit too far on some of the picks, because now the people going off the board.
He did get Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you got Aaron Rodgers in the 5th. Najee Harris. Oh God, Najee Harris in the starting lineup. He does have Bowers and Andrews.
He has no wide receiver at this point.
No wide receiver.
Have to start a wide receiver every single week.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. And Mixon's his running back.
Yeah,
he's not going to be
very risky team. Mark Andrews could lose some share.
Najee and Mixon might not be playing week 1. This might be the worst team. He does have Brock Bowers.
I like Bowers. I like the upside of Bowers and Andrews. I really like Andrews, especially with the likely injury.
Yeah,
I think he was a good pick, but I didn't know he already had Bowers. And this is a league where, for me, as a rookie, I want to make sure I filled out those running back slots and those wide receiver slots, and I'm glad I did.
Me too. Yeah,
because Tony Pollard, if I didn't take him, I would have had to take a running back maybe at my next pick. I didn't know Cam Scatterby was going to fall to me,
right?
And now I have a backup for bye week or something of that nature. So his team is very, very high risk.
To me, these last two receivers, I would have taken. Rough. I would take Mims and Tillman over Kirk, Palmer, Kyle Williams, Adam Thielen. Bateman is close. I would take him over all those guys.
But yeah, I think Cedric Tillman, if you guys don't know Cedric Tillman, he's a great last pick in your fantasy draft because he had multiple weeks as a top 12 wide receiver last year, and he did struggle with the concussion. Now, I do like that pick. We had Likely go off the board pretty late there to, of course, Caleb. Yeah, because we know Likely has the amazing upside if he comes back. Now, he is injured, and that essentially just gave Caleb some amazing value, I think, because he will definitely be back at some point this season.
Let's see. I think coaches. I don't like the Isaiah Pacheco pick. He could work out, of course.
I'm honestly not a huge fan of a lot of his players.
Yeah, which other players are you concerned
I don't really love Hawkinson. I think that with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, now he does have J.J. McCarthy.
Yep.
But this team needs to work. I mean, if he's going to three-peat, if the Vikings are great, the Hawkinson picks, it may still not work out. Diggs, I love Diggs. I think he's a great pick. But the double tight end here, no subs for his running back yet.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit concerned with the double tight end, even in tight end premium.
He doesn't have round 10 and 11 picks, so that is definitely. He doesn't have round 10, 11, or 12 picks. He's got a bunch of round 7, 8, 9. So I think he'll
fill out the bench well.
Yeah, he might be able to get some of the backup running backs for the Chiefs as well. So that definitely could bode well for him. Let's just double check when our next picks are up. So you're not on the clock till round 7. Yeah. I think I'm also not on the clock. Yeah, I'm right before you in round 7. I got a round 7 and 8 pick. Man, it's starting to get bleak for sure. There's still some players definitely that I have starred. We'll see how far some of them fall. And this is the range too, where some of the backup QBs, especially in some of the ambiguous situations, like there's going to be some value. The last thing I'll say with Caleb though, like he's maybe going to have one of these players on his team by the end of the championship. He led the league by far in trades last year. Was not close. He had over 200 transactions, and most of those are trades. Not adding
200.
He had over 200 transactions. Caleb has the top 6 highest scoring weeks of all time in the history of this league over multiple seasons. The highest scoring week in the history of this league came in the championship from Caleb. Last year, he put up almost 150 points.
I mean, you saw his team.
Yeah.
Right? He had like a 12-team league first round. He had traded his way. And one of the things he said when he was on live earlier was, don't be afraid to sell high. That I think is something that, especially in a bigger league, when Isaiah Pacheco has his first touchdown game, he's going to try to send him away. When CeeDee Lamb has his first huge game, he may try to trade him away and get multiple great players. He may stick with CeeDee Lamb as well, great player. But when TJ Hawkinson, Isaiah likely have huge games, he's going to find people in the league in need and try to capitalize on that. I certainly hope they don't let him,
Yeah.
But with 200 transactions, that sounds like that's exactly what he's going to be trying to do.
100%. And Pat's deploying his tight end, his annual tight end.
We got to take a look at this.
I don't think, does he have a receiver yet? No, I don't think he has a receiver.
Take a look at this.
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
didn't
trade any picks.
He did make some trades. Oh, he's going to have to take a receiver there. He's going to get one of the Pats receivers.
Demario Douglas is gone.
I'm going to count. Yeah, but there's still a lot of ambiguous Pats receivers out there.
Yeah.
He's going to get Mac Daddy Hollins at some point.
Yeah.
Afton Chisholm, Kendrick Bourne.
Jack Bash going off the board. I kind of like that pick, honestly, for Bryce.
Yeah, so we're at the stage of the draft, just looking back at last year's draft board, which is a very humbling thing to do in any fantasy league, honestly, looking back at last year's draft
let alone
board.
a 32.
Point, especially, over half these picks are going to be zeros. We're going to look back, and over half these picks are
I like that pick as well.
Completely worthless. That was a good pick.
Yeah.
That pick I like a lot more than Jack Bash.
I don't mind the Pat Fryermuth pick. I think he's coming in a deal.
Not terrible.
They're doing well. We'll see if it continues.
Not a terrible pick in tight end premium. I'm kind of out on Fryermuth and Jonnu. A bit
in redraft.
Jonnu went really early in this draft. Jonnu Smith went before Tucker Kraft.
Wow.
Before Jake Ferguson.
Wow.
Tucker Kraft went. I don't know why he went after Jonnu and Ferguson and Pitts. That doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, he does have a little bit less targets. Maybe projected.
Oh, there goes Correndo.
Wow.
Yeah,
you needed that.
I could get that.
That is a far fall, especially for someone that needs a running back.
Yeah, agreed.
Good backup pick, but
yeah.
Rams Cam Arcade is going to have him in his starting lineup.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That's a rough. Guarendo's a 0 or a 3 almost every single week.
Yeah, he's going to need a McCaffrey injury.
Yeah, and that seems a little bit early in your starting lineup to go for an injury. He also has a uke as well. That feels a little bit like a rough start for that team because he's got two of the back burner players.
Ayuk is expected to miss the first month.
Yeah, that could be that. And Guarendo, if CMC, if he gets injured this year, which we of course hope doesn't happen, the likelihood that it happens early on is the longer the season goes, the more likely an injury has already happened.
Right.
So with Guarendo and Ayuk, CMC would have to get injured so early for either one of those players.
And on top of that,
valuable.
I mean, this seems incredibly high risk when you look up to Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, he may not play.
He might not start week 1.
He may have 3 players who don't play week 1 in the starting lineup. And the sad part is, I don't think he made any trades, which is a fine strategy. Right. I think Cam used that strategy, and I'm really liking his team.
Yeah.
But man, this is a high risk. It could be high reward.
100%.
His way.
If McCaffrey gets hurt, A-Rich earns the starting role. Ayuk maybe beats his timeline, which definitely can still happen.
And beat Jawan Jennings with an injury. It
Right.
could be just Ayuk Pearsall. Yeah. This could be a touchdown machine team.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft, I like the pick as well.
Yeah, I did actually really like that pick too.
Puka's a really safe first rounder. So I like some of the picks, but man, week 1, week 2, week 3 could be rough for this team. And it is a league median as well. So you don't just get 1 loss if you have a terrible week. You're probably going to get 2 if you lose to the league average, which just in a 32-man league so important because the matchups can vary so much. You have to play with the league median. I recommend it for smaller leagues as well, but so important in 32. That is I'm going to say that's a rough start. And when he looks back at his team, that's something that's going to feel a little bit like, man, I wish I took some different decisions. Probably, I would think. Maybe he's happy with it, but it's one that you look back and say, there's a lot of risk here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Definitely a high risk, high reward squad so far. Man, Jatavian Sanders, I was hoping I could stack him with Bryce Young. That doesn't quite come to fruition, but Seth, thanks so much for hopping on. We're coming up with our picks soon.
Yes, we got to prepare.
Yeah, good luck.
This is going to be my final starter, so I really need to nail this pick.
Good luck finishing the draft, and thanks for hopping on. Wow, we are almost halfway through. We're almost halfway through. We had a little bit of Wi-Fi glitch there. Shout out to everybody who stuck around through the Wi-Fi glitch. That is what happens when you have more than half of a 32-person fantasy league in person, all on the same house Wi-Fi, and we got through it, of course. Just a short pause, a couple removed auto picks. And did anyone take Judkins? Is he still there? No, someone took him. When did Judkins go? He ended up getting taken. Oh, wow. In the fifth round by Mikey. And Jerome Ford, that was a good pick. Jalen Noel, not terrible. This is where I think I'm really going to turn it on here with some of these later round picks. Still lots of good values, I think, on the board here. Daniel Jones is still there too. Be pretty nice for the Anthony Richardson squad if he's able to snag him. I'm going to be up in a few picks. We'll see how things land. I got plenty of players queued up. I'm going to get a good player here as my first bench player if people keep picking like this. DeAndre Hopkins. Quentin Johnson was a decent pick. Dobbs, that was a pretty good pick. Tyler Higbee, not terrible. Oh, I can lock in who this pick is going to be for Samps. Very, very obvious pick coming up here for Samps, I think. We'll see if he surprises me. Oh, man. Tough call here. There goes Flacco. Yeah, that was very predictable. Very, very good pick there for Samps. Getting Tyler Algier as the handcuff without having to burn a starting roster slot. For him, I'm pretty surprised he was able to do that. Can I see AC's team, show Jets team? Yeah, I got you guys. I'm going to be on the clock soon here, so I'll show you guys after my pick. There goes Giddens. That's pretty annoying. There goes Daniel Jones. I think still some. Yeah, I think I kind of need to go. With Dylan Sampson here, with the Judkins situation, definitely don't hate that. Caleb goes with Terrence Ferguson. I was definitely considering him as well. 2 rookies. All right, let's take a look at AC's team here from the 2 slot. Pull up his roster as well on the side. Pretty strong team here. I don't love the Mason Taylor situation. Obviously, that was a late 5th round pick. He should be the starting tight end for the Jets. Probably will be the starting tight end for the Jets this season. I'll show TikTok here. Here's AC's starting lineup. He did have the 2nd overall pick. Gets Lamar, obviously. I did like that RJ Harvey pick. He's going to have to try to battle through the Rashee Rice suspension that's likely going to come, though. So we'll see when that comes. It's probably going to come to a 3-game suspension. So when's AC's next pick? He's got an 8th rounder. He's got another 7th rounder here. We'll see what he's able to do with that 7th rounder. I mean, it's definitely starting to get pretty shallow here. I just took Dylan Sampson with my 7th round pick. My first bench player there is Dylan Sampson. Don't hate that. Do think he's going to have a role for the Browns, especially if Judkins' situation prolongs into the season. There's still a chance that Judkins just isn't really a member of the Browns this year. Most likely it's just going to be some type of suspension. Best case is the suspension's pushed to next year, but he still hasn't even signed his contract or reported to camp yet. So I do like buying into the ambiguity there as well. There is a Cardinals creator, show Falcons and Coco's team. Yeah, I think Samps is having a really, really good draft here. Our Falcons creator. Oh, I didn't realize Algier was in the starting lineup. All right, this is not as strong as I really realized. I was definitely going to take Tyler Algier 1 pick later. Saw that he had Bijan, though, so knew that was going to happen. So he's got Cam Ward, Bijan, Tyler Algier, who's not going to do much, probably, unless Bijan gets hurt, in which case this team's already pretty much torched. And then he's got Malik Neighbors. Josh Palmer, don't love that, honestly. He's getting some steam. They signed him for a reason. But the Bills spread the ball around. There's going to be some really down weeks, I think, for Josh Palmer. He might have a weekly ceiling, but I don't think he's going to be necessarily that different than Matt Collins last year. I think that might be what we see from Josh Palmer. Like, best case, I think, is like what Keon Coleman did, or a little bit better than that. And that's not, league winner there. Still needs another roster slot here as well. Does Samps, our Falcons creator. His next pick is not till the 8th. He's got 2 8ths, and one of these is going to have to be a starter. Yeah, not not in love with that. And I think you asked for Kokos too. Yeah, let's see how Sam Kokos put it together. He was in a bit of a tricky spot with some of the trades he put together. He does have his starting lineup locked in now. This is our Dolphins creator. He got Gibbs at pick 4, who he traded up to get, and he got Hurts at pick 10. The rest of his team is rookies and then Trey Benson. Oh, God, yeah, I actually like Jaden Blue. I like the ceiling for Jaden Blue. I like the ceiling for Benson as a handcuff plus with some standalone value. I don't hate. Oh, man, we're getting into the dark parts of this draft right now. I don't hate Kyle Williams, but I don't think he's going to be consistent, especially out of the gates as a rookie. There's a lot of different receivers that might end up playing for the Pats. There goes Noah Fant, Cole Kmet. I mean, man, this is getting gross. Keaton Mitchell goes off the board. This is the part of the draft I think I can do a little bit better than the average person and find some guys with some ceiling. All right, there goes Blake Corum. We're past, I think, yeah, we're at pick 204 now over on 200 over on Underdog. When's my next pick? I don't think, do I have a round 8 pick? I don't think I do. I do in the middle of the 8th. 15 picks away. We'll see if anyone slides to me here. There goes Zach Wilson. We got the backup QBs coming off the board now. I do. AJ Dillon gets snagged. I hear Packers at WalterPicks Caleb complaining in the background. There goes Jackson Dart. I still think there's some good players on the board that people are overlooking. I hope a few of them slide to me, but I got a gauntlet ahead of me here. I got 3 picks from Bradley, snags Jalen Coker. Can't stack him anymore. I got 2 picks from Samps, and then a pick from Hadley as well, and Bryant. Yeah, this is going to be tough. All the guys I want, I think, are about to fly off the board. I'm going to get sniped here in round 8. I'm going to show the Jets team for sure. I'll show the Lions team as well. 32 man is tough, man. Definitely is a tough one. There goes Kyle Monungai, Devin Neal. I like those picks for sure. I feel like I already know who Samps is going to take here again with these next couple of picks. This is a starter, I believe, on Sam's team. Some people are still drafting starters with the trades that they did before the draft. Definitely not a great move. 5 seconds on the clock here for Samps. He's got to put this guy in his starting lineup. He goes Tyler Conklin. Here comes Bradley. Bradley's got a stream of picks here in these couple rounds. I will show, I'm about to be on the clock, so I'm locked in for my pick here, and then I'll show some of the teams being requested in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the live stream right now, by the way. Seriously, I absolutely love doing these live streams. This live stream is a special one every single year. If you're watching live on YouTube, guys, we are just getting started in the season. It is the best time of year. It is fantasy football draft season. It is peak optimism time of year, man. I'm pumped for draft season, for the NFL season, and we're putting out so much content. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube, the follow button on TikTok as well. There goes Raheem Mostert. That's an absolutely disgusting pick. That was a snag, though. I knew Samps was going to snipe him from me with Jarquez Hunter. There goes Michael Mayer. And yeah, I think I got to go. Is he still there too? Oh, wow, Shipley's still there too. I do not hate that. We're going with Woody Marks instead, though. Do like getting another rookie running back here as my second bench player. I think I'm feeling pretty good about the bench, at least the upside of the bench I'm putting together. All right, so some people were asking to see some teams. So let's take a look here. I think the Lions was requested. Let's take a look at Lions.WalterPicks team, and then we'll look at Panthers and Jets here coming up in a second as well. So Lions creator, wow, Daniel Jones is the only QB on the roster. So he's praying for an Anthony Richardson downfall. He's also got to start Ray Davis in his starting lineup. And he also has he got Godwin and Egbuka, de-risking the Godwin pick a little bit, but like he needs Daniel Jones to start. Let's see when his next pick is. See when my next pick is too. I think. Do I have a ninth? I don't even know. Yeah, I do have a late ninth, but he's probably going to be gone by then. Yeah, so the next pick for Lions creator is not till, round 9. This is still probably a starter for our Lions creator. That's pretty tough. And we're going to have our Jets creator joining here in a second. I think someone was just asking to see our Jets creators team. So let me pull it up. Nick, how are we doing? This is your 4th?
This is my 4th year drafting. I've got it down to a science besides auto drafting, which I think I can officially take it off for now.
Yeah, I think you've broken the curse there, and we're pulling up the squad here. You did end up making a trade. Was this right before the draft?
This
is that the trade that went down like as we started the draft?
1 second after the draft started.
Wow. So explain the trade that you made. Trevor got the 4th pick here, and you got a couple picks.
Yep. So
you moved up.
Moved my 6 into a earlier 5 by moving back 20 picks in the 4th. And I think it worked out good. I like my starting roster, but I would have made a change if I could have, looking back at it. There's still value to be had in the draft, but
100%.
As for my starters, Kyron, Ladd, Shakir, and Dalton, and Gino, I think they're all serviceable. I'm hoping for a big year out of Kyron, though, because he's my only running back on the roster, just handcuffed by Blake Corum. That's the strategy right now. Yeah,
I don't hate the handcuff, though. I mean, Jarquez Hunter, I do like as a rookie. I think he's the most explosive running back they have on the team, but he's different than Kyron and Corum. I think if Kyron goes down, Corum will definitely have a role as well. So you definitely de-risk that pick a decent amount. I thought you were going to start with the Ladd Herbert stack. It was staring you in the face right there.
I thought about it.
Not many people went QB in the first round, though, so it would have been maybe feeling like a tiny bit of a reach. But yeah, I definitely think you pieced it together fine. I would argue the hardest pick in the draft. I think you got the hardest slot in the draft. I was talking to Caleb before the draft started, but because of how much trading is in this league, you are kind of at a disadvantage to get the 32nd pick. When I got the 3rd pick, I could just trade back to still be ahead of the 32nd pick and get more draft capital on top of that because someone's willing to pay up for the 3rd pick. But I think you dealt with it pretty well. I do really like Geno Smith too as a sleeper quarterback this year. You got him very late. That was what, round 4, round 5?
That was I got him at the end of the 3rd. So technically, on the 3-4 turn.
Yeah.
I was eyeing down actually his receiver, Jacoby Myers there, and Zay Flowers, but I decided to take a quarterback, play it safe. There's actually a couple people without quarterbacks in the league right now. They're panicking out there in the draft.
Which 2 teams don't have QBs? We were just looking at Lions.
Lions.
He has Daniel Jones now. If you want to argue that's a QB,
I don't know if that's a QB, but it was Lions who Shea was having a hard time with that. What do you think of my team so far?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it by any means. K. Dotton, I don't love Dalton Schultz, but it's hard, to like wrap your head around the 2-point per reception premium for tight end, and that does make both those tight ends like a little bit better. Schultz, though, I just don't think there's like a real ceiling there. Otten, I think, is pretty underrated, and if he just does anything near what he did last year, definitely can be doable. Having Egbuka there too maybe squeezes the target shares like a little bit, but the first 3 guys you got here, Shakir, McConkey, Kyron, Williams, and then also Geno Smith. I like all of those. I did like that Josh Reynolds pick as well, on brand with the Jets. He's going to be their wide receiver too. They might not throw a lot, but a wide receiver 2 as your second bench player in this league is, I think, really strong. I do like both your start here with the bench for sure.
I think for people watching who don't understand the league, Josh Reynolds' ADP was like 347 or something, and we were only at pick like 220, but at this point in the draft, it doesn't matter if your player's ADP is literally 100 picks away. Like, you just got to get guys that you think have a chance. That's really the strategy that I've went with the last couple of years.
And there goes Taysom Hill. I did like that Will Shipley pick a lot by AC there. One of the last, I think, true backup running backs that was left on the board, and the board's starting to get like
That's gross.
really bleak. Yeah, it's at this point, if you just can get someone that's not a 0, that's a W. That's a W. Looking back at the draft board from last year, that would have been a W, and I think it's going to be no different this year. Probably more than 85% of the picks in this round will be 0s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, well, from the last 3 years, this will be my 4th year in the league. There's always, I was telling the guys out there, there's always some gems in the last round, though. There's always ends up being like a handful of guys, less than 10, though, after round 9, that you're going to find value. Like, I think Knox is a good pick down here.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pick.
An injury away. But you'll find by week 2 of the season, there's some guys from the last few rounds that are very fantasy relevant.
Yep.
And waiver wires after week 1, there's always a few guys that actually go undrafted, which is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, which will be great for me. I didn't mention that, I don't think, on the live, but in all of the trades that I did, I somehow accumulated by far the most fab in the league. I have over 5,555 fab. The next highest is like 1,200. So hopefully you're right. And there's someone on the waivers that I can pounce on and increase the squad a little bit. Do like that Kayshon Boutte pick right there. Pat's receiver room definitely really ambiguous right now. Boutte was their best receiver last season.
He was in my queue, so I'm sad to see him go.
Likewise. I agree. Definitely agree with that being a pretty strong pick. Well, Nick, thank you so much for hopping on. Good luck the rest of the draft. Try to close it out strong.
Yep, that's what I'm going. I got to queue some more players. I got to pick in 20.
Yeah, me as well. All right, we are going to be back on the clock here. Not too far away at this point. Another 20 picks, maybe so kind of far by normal standards, not too far for the 32. Man, shout out to everyone who's here in round 9 of this draft. I agree with Nick. I agree that there's still pretty good value to be had out there. Wow, Kenny Pickett goes to Seth there. I don't hate that for him. Let me check this out. Yeah, there's still some players I like here, this range. I feel like my entire bench might end up being rookies. There's just something about the upside, the ambiguous upside of the rookies that I can buy into. Yeah, there's definitely still a decent amount of guys, I think, that have upside here. Upside might be a stretch, but a semblance of a story you could tell at least of some upside. There goes Trey Tucker. It's not a terrible pick. Someone's going to take Spencer Rattler at some point. Who got Travis Hunter? And the dart throws begin. The dart throws started a long time ago. I did like that Trevor Etienne pick as well. Yeah, I like a lot of the rookie running backs. And there's still some rookie running backs I like that are out there for sure. Let me just see the picks I have left. I have 2 9s coming up. Love that. I think I'm going to get two reasonable players here. And then I got one more pick in round 10, then the round 12 pick as well. There goes Kendre Miller. That's not a terrible pick. Sean Tucker, I feel like, has at least a story of upside. Pull this up here in the WalterPicks app. Shadur Sanders goes at pick 921. In this league, as a reminder, are you going to do a video ranking the top 5 teams? Yeah, definitely, Ryan. We'll do a ranking of the top 5 teams. Hadley, I'll take a look at your squad here in a second. I'm going to be on the clock, though, in a couple seconds here. There's still a lot of players I like, if I'm being honest. I'm on the clock. Yeah, I think I gotta go. Love that Kenneth Gainwell pick. I already have Caleb Johnson. So a little bit of a handcuff there. Obviously, Jalen Warren there as well. But Kenneth Gainwell is going to have a role on the Steelers for sure. He was pretty far down there on the ADPs. All right, let's take a look at Hadley. I'm going to have another pick here in 5 picks. Then we'll take a look at our Giants creator Hadley's team. But I do like the depth that I'm starting to build here at running back. Let's see. There's like a few running backs I could talk myself into at this range. There's still one receiver that I'm honestly a little surprised that he's there. That I definitely would consider. I don't think I have a single tight end either. Coach is on the clock, then I'm going to be up, and then we will take a look at some of these squads. There goes Nick Westbrook. All I do is score touchdowns at Kine. And yeah, I'm between a few different guys here. Oh, man, I think I got to go for the ceiling instead of the floor with Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Let's go. I hear Pat furious out there. Yeah, come on. I think the next pick I have is right next to you, so that works well.
yeah.
Sam, how we doing?
You tell me. To be honest with you, no glaze, but I definitely think just off of my instant reactions, you have the best team.
I have the best team.
Yeah, I think your team is absolutely insane.
Let's go. I love to hear that from you, Sam. I love you having me on.
Yeah.
I'm most nervous.
Crazy.
I'm most nervous about the Juwan Jennings pick, but I want to talk about
Yeah.
your squad here as well. We actually were looking at this
Yeah.
a little bit earlier, and I was very curious to see how this was gonna play out for you because you had 2 top 10 picks. I mean, you
Mhm.
were ahead right from the start,
Mhm.
and I feel like these picks went about as well as they probably could have gone. I was pretty surprised Jalen Hurts fell to 10. I didn't think he was going to be.
I was too. Mhm.
Yeah, there at 10. And so, yeah, you get a top 5 running back. You could argue, a top 3 running back.
Number
yeah,
one.
I personally would go Bijan and
Yeah.
Saquon over him, but there's a fair argument to make for there for sure. And then you get Jalen Hurts, who I think is locked in as top 4 QB.
Yep.
And I think, honestly, the passing upside of Hurts is just getting a little underrated in general right now. But you paid a price, obviously, to move up. And so,
two seconds.
you have 3 rookies in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
Matthew
we have
Golden
a
probably
little
being the
bit of
safest.
Taxi squad lineup is what I'm going to call it, I think. So yeah, my first 2 picks, I was in a blender with how I wanted to construct them. So I didn't want to take Jaden Daniels in hopes that Hurts fell, and so I can get my running back. Because if I took Jaden Daniels, I wanted a running back, quarterback. So if I took Jaden Daniels, Bijan, Gibbs, and Saquon all wouldn't have been there. Would I had to take a receiver, and then I would have to take Jordan Mason as my number 1 running back. So I'm really happy with how that played out. I really wanted a couple tight ends. Did not get a tight end, but it is what it is. I'm either going to win a league or I'm going to lose the league. I might make some videos too for the lowest score.
Yeah,
with these rookies.
I really like Jaden Blue. I think pretty clearly the highest upside running back the Cowboys have.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys could lead the league in pass attempts, and Jaden Blue is the best pass catching running back they have as well. So in PPR, I don't hate that one at all. I think he is pretty strong. Kyle Williams, I like a lot. I think I've been saying for a while, stealing comp for him, in my opinion, is Darnell Mooney. I'm not super into him in fantasy in year 1. I'm not sure he's going to be super consistent, but I do like the talent that the Patriots got there. It's not like they have the best receivers in New England. There's a lot of them, but if he's as good as Darnell Mooney is, he could definitely have a real role, and Drake May takes a year or 2 leap. Yep. You're definitely betting on that. I like Benson as well, but yeah, I think
Trey Benson's my I have a lot of exposure to him in my underdog drafts, that's for sure. And so yeah, the Kyle Williams pick, if I knew Schultz was on the board, I would have smashed Dalton Schultz there for sure. But yeah, I think boom or bust team I'm looking at here. So maybe make some trades, maybe split up some guys and see what I could do. Let's see where we at right now.
Yeah, we're at pick 16. We got.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to start hitting on these picks for my bench. Oh, I also love Torrey Horton.
Tell me a little bit about that pick.
So the Seahawks are lacking an X receiver.
Yep.
I mean, they got 2 slot guys.
Yeah.
Where's the X receiver?
Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not a true X receiver.
No, wait. Torrey Horton's humongous. I mean, I'm a very big, as my home fantasy league guys know this. I'm a very big wide receiver guy. I love AJ Brown, and I'm also very high on the passing attack for the Eagles too. So that was the Hurts pick. Going back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a very big X large receiver. People, it's an easy target. So
the Seahawks definitely need someone to play that role, and JSN is going to play on the outside, but he's obviously not a true.
No, he struggled on the outside when they put him there last year. So, we'll definitely see. I think a lot of Torrey Horton just at least getting reps to strategically wise to move the defense around. So
yeah, I think you and me both might have a bit of the rookie fever going on here.
Oh, I have unbelievable rookie fever here. I mean, Trey Benson kind of a rookie. Like he hasn't really touched the field too much.
Yeah, if we take a quick peek at my squad, I got Caleb Johnson in the starting lineup, but I have 3 rookies on the bench out of my 4 bench players as well.
Wade Marks is good. Yeah. We're gonna be cheering for the Cowboys together.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely going to be cheering hard for Mr. George Pickens, who hopefully will be a little less boom bust and a little bit more just boom for me hopefully. In the 32, because you really can't.
T. Higgins comps there.
Yeah.
I think the
100%.
Bengals and the Cowboys could be pretty close in style of play, and I mean that was the best offense to have last year in fantasy football. So.
Totally agree. All right, I'm going to be on the clock here in 5.
Sir. Me too.
Thanks for hopping on.
Me here.
Yeah, good luck finishing it out.
All right, you too.
I got a good feeling my next pick is not going to get sniped here. There's definitely someone specific that I'm hoping for, and yeah, we'll see if he slides to me or not. I only have two bench spots left, right? 2 bench spots left. Yeah, I got 1 round 12 pick after this in the I think towards the end of round 12 too. See, no, it's actually in the middle, beginning part of round 12, but can't bank on a single player I want to be there. So we'll see about that. I think this pick is pretty easy for me if he slides to where I think he's going to slide. All right, let's take a look at, are there any semi-tight end relevant players left? No, the best tight end is like Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau, if you want to say he's semi-relevant, he actually might have already gotten taken. Yeah, Luke Musgrave is a rookie tight end, Gunnar Helm, I think. Yeah, I think Foster Moreau is still out there. Some of these guys I've never heard of. Yeah, we are at that portion of the draft, and you might have never heard of the guy that I'm likely going to take with this next pick, but I think you probably will hear about him sometime soon. And here he is. We're going to snag Mr. LaQuint Allen. Feeling great about the rookie stable I'm building here. I also love to hear from Sam. He thinks I got one of the better teams in the league. But Mr. LaQuint Allen, 7th round draft pick out of Syracuse, led all running backs in college football in receptions last year. Bashal Tootin now with an injury right now, soft tissue injury already for Bashal Tootin, who's the earlier pick for the Jaguars in the draft. But they also spent a 7th round pick on LaQuint Allen, who is a very capable receiving back, but he's also a pretty big stature guy, could be a goal line player. I expect him to make the team, and I think there's like a real chance he has a week 1 role on this offense too. It's going to be Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby that are taking the bulk of the work, but I would not rule out like a real fantasy relevant role for LaQuint Allen as soon as his rookie season. We'll see how Bashal Tootin ends up doing. I do like the ceiling for him this season as well, but there goes my second to last pick. And I got a bunch of guys queued up for round 12, but feeling decent with where I'm at. Again, I don't love the Jennings and McCaffrey situation. Hopefully Jennings is able to get back to full health, but I got McCaffrey, Pickens, Caleb Johnson, Downs, Jennings, and Bryce Young, and then a whole stable of rookies plus Kenneth Gainwell on the bench. I have 4 running backs and 1 receiver on the bench. I didn't take a single tight end. I let other people reach for the tight ends. There was a moment in this draft. I was hoping Jatavion Sanders would fall back to me and I could get that Bryce Young stack. That didn't end up happening. And I think, I was definitely also considering both Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland in this range of the draft. There's 3 picks before my next pick, or 4 picks for my next pick. I thought one of them might be there. I kind of had to go with Bryce Young anyways, though. But I was thinking about them definitely with this Caleb Johnson pick that I had as well. What's the strat to study a league like this? Yeah, so you do a ton of mock drafts, and also like for me to practice, I'm doing hundreds of best ball drafts. I've already done like 300 best ball drafts, which is why I think I was a little bit more prepared than most for these later rounds. Like there's almost all zeros being drafted at this point. I think the guys that I took in the later rounds though, also likely to be zeros, but if they're not, they have like an actual ceiling. Like there's an actual ceiling for some of these rookies. Dylan Sampson, I think, was a 4th round. Dylan Sampson and Woody Marks, I think both 4th round draft picks. LaQuint Allen went in the 7th. I think Keandre Lambert-Smith was a 5th round rookie. And Kenneth Gainwell was signed in free agency by the Steelers. I definitely think he's going to have a role as well. AC thinks he's winning this year. Let's click through the teams here and look through and see what teams we like the most. Sorry, starting with Avery's. He's got Jalen Knoll in the starting lineup. Don't really love that. I don't hate that. I don't hate that Goddard pick at all. I like the rest of the team here. He's got Josh Allen. That Quentin Johnson pick I actually think was pretty decent. He's got a pretty good chance at a role. James Conner, we'll see. He kind of had to reach at running back. He does have a second running back in Mondre. Not a bad team here at all for Avery. Obviously, Josh Allen, really good. All right, AC, RJ Harvey, Rashee Rice Bateman, Mason Taylor, Jerome Ford, Lamar. I think the bench here, you did a pretty good job with the Shipley pick. I had him queued up for sure. I was between him and I think I was between him and Woody Marks and Dylan Sampson. I ended up going with Woody Marks at maybe a tiny bit higher ceiling in my mind with the Joe Mixon stuff. But yeah, Will Shipley is a Saquon injury away from like being a potential league winner. Kendra Miller might have a real role. Malik Washington's probably going to have a real role. I don't like Khalil Herbert or Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, the handcuff, I guess, this season for Lamar Jackson. So don't hate that. But yeah, I think DJ Giddens like well ahead of Khalil Herbert, who was incapable of playing for the Bengals last year. But yeah, not a bad team at all. I'm not super in on Mason Taylor. We'll see. I know he's the starting tight end. Justin Fields likes his tight ends, but at the same time, rookie tight end on a really low pass volume offense. So I don't really love that. Jimmy G, wow, Trevor was able to snag Jimmy G late. I feel like that's a pretty good situation for Trevor with the Stafford Jimmy G stack. All right, Avery, how are we doing? We're clicking through some of the teams here.
Chat.
And our Commanders creator, we're just looking at your squad.
Squad is beautiful.
I feel like you pieced it together pretty well. I don't love
Pretty well.
Jalen Knoll in the starting lineup. Obviously, in this league, everyone has at least one sketchy starting lineup.
Oh,
player.
100%. And it was the last pick in the round, too.
Right, last pick in the round. I actually really liked that Goddard pick too. I was looking at
love
Goddard, I think a lot earlier than this pick,
Really?
and he ended up sliding pretty far. But I feel like Quentin Johnson, like he's probably going to start over Knoll for you.
He had a really good last game. I don't know if that means anything, but
Yeah,
he's
well,
there.
I mean, Mike Williams retired, and
Yeah,
Keenan Allen's visiting. That might decrease his target share a little bit, but
it will if he goes.
he's a guy that has a really bad rep coming off a pretty good season.
Yeah. It's definitely a dart throw, and it's a dart throw I want to take. But I like how I pieced together the end of my bench. I like the Isaiah Davis pick. I have a very long list of cues with people that should not be taken in any league, but I'm ready for the Mr. Irrelevant pick. You do not want to miss 1232 because I got somebody for you.
I got some guys still queued up as well. I'm curious what you think of how my draft turned out, both bench and starting lineup being included here. Do you think this is a viable 32-team league, 32-person league team here?
I think it's 100% viable. You have like a good mix. You took some shots. I like the LaQuint Allen. I knew you were going with LaQuint Allen when I saw his name. He was on my list too. But
Nice.
this is definitely like with the trades that you made, is definitely one of the stronger teams to start out the year. There's not a ton of holes. You're definitely not somebody that was stuck with zero quarterback like Shea. He's coming on next. Lions, WalterPicks. If you guys want to see that, I know we've had a ton of commenters and glazers of Shea. So we'll see what he says after. But no, I would say this is in the top third of what we've seen.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's the case. I mean, the trades I made de-risked, I think, the team a little bit. I was pretty happy with some of the rookies that I was able to get here. I mean, Quinshon Judkins doesn't end up playing or missing an extended period. Like Dylan Sampson's going to have a role, I think, for sure. Woody Marks is in kind of a similar spot with the Joe Mixon injury as well. I don't like the offensive line in Houston, but Kenneth Gainwell, I was pretty surprised how far down he was as well. We're in round 12 now. Some names flying off the board. Trey Lance. Last year, just looking at round 12, someone is in the chat. Did any studs go undrafted last year or the 2 years ago? Like Puka, no. Every single stud's drafted, and I'm on the clock here.
Uh-oh.
And I think think I gotta go.
See if it's one of the guys on my list.
No, it's not going to be.
No?
I have Matthew Slater like queued up ready in case, but it can't be Matthew Slater. I think it's got to be Mr. Andy Dalton, my handcuff
Oh, yeah, that's smart.
for
That's
Bryce.
smart.
Yeah,
That's smart.
I think with the last place punishments in this league, I'm down for the handcuff QB strat and just
You have to.
Andy Dalton did okay for fantasy purposes too. Like he can at least put up 15 points
Yeah.
if I need it. He wasn't the best real life quarterback, but I think he's pretty locked in as the backup there.
Yeah, I agree. I like how yours turned out. I like how mine turned out as well. I did almost zero preparation for this draft, and it went almost exactly how I was expecting it to. So I like how that starts. But I have my Mr. Irrelevant pick coming up. A lot of decisions to make. I'm going to let Shay come on here next. Mine's
Yeah.
Walter Picks.
Good luck with the final pick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's a big decision.
Yeah, so the last place punishment in this league, whoever comes in first gets to choose between multiple options for last place. One option is last place has to hand deliver, no planes allowed unless required. Hand deliver a sandwich to first place. And we got people drafting we have people playing this league from all over the country. So that's going to be a car or a bus ride across the country to deliver a sandwich to first place. That is one of the punishments. And another one is the Waffle House challenge. And we're about to have our Lions creator Shay on, who might be at risk of one of these last place punishments.
I got the Waffle House.
So we'll see how he's feeling about the squad. Let me pull up the team here for Shay. Shay, you started about exactly as you wanted to start. We talked about Amarian Hampton. I know earlier today we both like him a lot. You don't need to convince me about that pick. I thought that was a strong pick. Nico Collins also a really strong pick. Could easily be the wide receiver one this season. So you start out with two guys that probably could be top 10 at their position. There's at least that range in the range of outcomes. Then you got, I think you're on the clock. His final pick here. We'll see who he snags.
Oh no, it's not updating.
Under pressure.
Under pressure.
10 seconds.
I just got to go with who has the best shot of starting.
3 seconds.
I'm going Quinn Ewers.
Not terrible.
Quinn Ewers, let's go.
Yeah, probably behind Zach Wilson, but it's round 12. It's really
round
not.
12.
Yeah, these are all zeros pretty much at this point. I also just took Andy Dalton. But yeah, so you start with two good players. You get Jerry Jeudy. Don't hate that at all. I think he is pretty clearly the wide receiver one on the Browns. They should be losing in plenty of games. We'll see what the QB situation ends up being. If it's Flacco, it'll work out well.
I wanted Flacco.
If it's Pickett, I think it can still work. If it's the rookies, we'll see.
Yeah.
You get Igbuka and Godwin. Is this something you went in thinking you might do? You took Igbuka before Godwin. Godwin slides, obviously, with the injury stuff. But how do you feel about getting both those guys and starting both of them?
So in literally all of my mocks, I was taking Igbuka at the 4-2-3. I actually traded back with, I believe, Sam, the Dolphins creator, to get because I wanted Igbuka bad. I think he has potential to be top 20 receiver this year. I think he could take over Godwin's role. But I took Godwin as kind of like that security. I actually took Shuck, and then the pick got reversed because the internet crashed.
Oh, no.
And I just had second thoughts. I looked at a thing that said he was losing the quarterback race. And Godwin at that value, even if he misses a couple games,
You're between Godwin and Shuck.
I was between Godwin
Yeah,
and
you got to
Shuck.
go Godwin.
I got to go Godwin. Like he falls that far. Like who are the
There
other
goes Michael
players that-
Thomas, Craig Reynolds.
Michael Thomas.
Let's see who Mr. Irrelevant is here
Got to be
from-
Antonio Brown.
from Avery. I know he's been cooking this one up for a while. And, I actually had him queued as well. I think that was Jordan Watkins, I think is his name.
Rookie.
Rookie for the 49ers. Yeah, he could have a role. I mean, Jennings is injured right now. Ayuk's probably going to miss the first month as well.
I
Obviously,
got Cowing though. I sniped it.
Yeah.
He had Cowing on his queue.
yeah, he could have a role for sure. It's going to be Watkins versus Cowing, I think, for like a real role if those injuries stick. But there is Jamari Thrash gets added instantly. Wow. There is the final pick of the draft. And so, yeah, you're starting Ray Davis. You end up snagging Daniel Jones. You basically just need a collapse from Anthony Richardson. You took two backup QBs at the end here
I did.
as well. I actually like that mac and cheese Mac Jones
I do.
pick.
And there's kind of a 49ers quarterback extension curse. So
Yeah,
who knows?
I did have a Mac Jones in my queue as well.
Mhm.
When you think back to when Mac Jones was drafted, there's all these reports that 49ers wanted him. And then suddenly, just how the world works, here he is on the 49ers. And I could see him succeeding there. He did okay for fantasy on the Jags. Brian Thomas Jr. at least was popping off in his starts there. So, yeah, I think there's like a path at least to him being
I hope.
relevant in the event of an injury
Yeah.
to Purdy, which I definitely don't want with Jennings
No,
and
yeah.
McCaffrey on the squad.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Daniel Jones, if he does play, probably going to project as a
It's-
top 15 QB with the
I
rushing
think
potential.
it's about the chances of him playing is 35%. I think
Yeah.
65-35. Richardson leading.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. So overall, Shay, how are you feeling the draft went after going through your first 32?
I'm definitely gonna hit up the Chargers creator because he has 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So that's priority
makes
number
sense.
1.
Yeah.
I might not do my team reveal till I do that. Team reveal and Daniel Jones is in the super flex spot. I'm gonna get roasted. Yeah, I'm happy with the values I got. I was really hoping I could snag like a Bryce Young at 329, but that was not even close to reality. So, but I'm happy with Judy. I think he's gonna get 8+ targets a week. I mean, he was the wide receiver 12 overall last year, and I got him as I think outside the top 25 receivers. So I'm happy with it. I love my top 2 with Nico and Hampton. I think Nico has top 5 upside easily. Hampton, I think, is arguably a top 12 running back week 1, especially if Najee is still with that whole eye.
I totally agree. And if it's not week 1, I don't think it'll be too long
Yeah.
until that comes. And yeah, I think that you hedge your bet a little bit here with like the Buka Godwin. Ray Davis is in line with some of the other sketchy starters that you'll see in this league. I think everyone has at least one pretty sketchy starter, and it just happens that that's your super flex slot. You just got to find your way to a quarterback without giving up too much value, and I think you got a pretty good squad that you assembled here.
Thank you. What can I see your team? I've been so locked in on
Yeah, let me pull up my squad.
trying to get a quarterback.
So I did take McCaffrey and Bryce Young, foreshadowed here
I
by
saw the comments about that.
Yeah,
That is insane.
the 2 jerseys. I got Pickens and Caleb Johnson with my next 2 picks, and I took Bryce Young before the QBs all fell off a cliff. Downs and Jennings to fill out the starting roster. I don't feel great about having Jennings and McCaffrey on the same squad. I don't feel great about Jennings having a calf injury right now. I went into this draft saying I would not take anyone actively injured in this league where your starting lineup can fall off real fast.
Yeah.
And Jennings just fell a little bit farther than I expected. And if he starts, especially with Ayuk out that first month, we've seen top 24 wide receiver production from him before, but
I'm high on him.
Yeah, the re-aggravated calf injury is not what I really want from someone in my starting lineup this
Where
time
did
of
you
year.
get him? 6th?
I got him in the 4th. Yeah, so I had
4th?
my last starting lineup pick in the 4th round with some of the trades that I made. Then
beautiful.
I pretty much went exclusively rookie running back from there. Dylan Sampson, Woody Marks, LaQuint Allen, and then I took the Chargers rookie receiver we were watching on the Hall of Fame game the other night.
Pat put you onto him.
Yeah, Pat. I heard Pat's reaction.
Yep.
I took him. That was great. And then Kenneth Gainwell, I think, will have a real role for the Steelers, and at least a bit of a handcuff for Caleb Johnson. Obviously, Jalen Warren will be in the mix there as well, but he's not like a workhorse, true handcuff. So yeah, feel okay.
Your team looks really good. I'm going to piggyback off what Sam said. I think you got an easily top 3 team.
Yeah, I definitely need McCaffrey to stay healthy and Jawan Jennings to get healthy as well.
Yeah.
If Jennings is healthy week 1, I feel pretty good about what I put together here. I like Josh Downs a lot as a player, and in PPR, I don't hate him, but I am a little bit nervous about the Tyler Warren impact on that passing attack too. Already a run first team.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren might be their best receiver now. It's definitely possible. Obviously Pittman there still as well, but yeah, don't feel terrible about how it went. And I just also need to pray one of these rookie running backs ends up hitting and providing some standalone value as well.
I think you're hoping for a Daniel Jones starting job for Downs.
Yeah, we're both
in the same boat.
We're
Let's
both
go.
rooting for Daniel Jones for sure. Yeah,
Oh,
if
man.
Josh Downs can be in that Wandale role
Yeah.
for Daniel Jones, a Wandale plus role, that would be great. I think that would be ideal case for Mr. Josh Downs for sure versus Anthony Richardson, who was not able to complete a pass last season. So yeah, definitely agree with that. Well, Shay, thanks so much for hopping on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats on your first 32 creator draft and good luck this
It
season.
was a whirlwind for sure.
Yeah. It always,
Crazy roller coaster of emotion.
it always is. It always is for sure. That is it. We do have a creator for all 32 NFL teams. Theoretically, every team is 1 or 2 injuries away from getting last, no matter how good they are. Yeah, in theory, that's true, Ryan. In practice, that ends up not always being the case. All right, let's go to full screen here. I can't believe I got both these guys on the squad. I swear I did not plan that. Yeah, the waiver wire is just brutal. There is a fab system, though, in this league, and I do have 4,000 more fab based on the trades I did than everyone else. I do feel pretty good about the trades I made now post draft. I feel like I finished my starting lineup before most people somehow have a ton of fab, which probably is worthless, but I feel like at least a little bit of trade bait for me if I end up trading in this league as well. But yeah, the top available player at each position on the waiver wire right now is Amir Abdullah, Cardell Hodge, Stone Smart, and Deshaun Watson. These are the top available players on the waiver wire. So there's really not a real waiver wire unless there's some sudden injury to maybe some backup quarterback that's not on a team ends up being worth something. That is it for the 32 creator draft. It actually went pretty fast. It was only 2 hours this year. I think the 30-second timer after round 3 was a good move. I feel like we did that a little later in the draft last year, but I think that played to my advantage a little bit too in these later rounds with the preparation I've been doing with the best ball drafts. That is it though for the 32 creator draft. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Had a ton of fun on this live stream. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button before you tune out. It is fantasy football draft season as well. So make sure you check out the WalterPicks app. The link is in the YouTube bio for that, in the TikTok bio. In the YouTube description and the TikTok bio for that. The app is going to help you absolutely crush the season. We've made so many improvements to both the fantasy and player prop side of things since last season. So pumped for you guys all to check that out. So much more coming to the WalterPicks app very soon. So definitely check that out as well. Have a great night, everyone. And thank you so much for tuning in.